The film opens with a scene of a hero fighting a monster to save the world. But unfortunately he gets defeated. This is Khan, a hardcore gamer, rambling after his loss against that monster earlier. Suddenly, a girl named Flora comes looking for Khan to ask for his help with something. And of course with that girl crazy look on his face, there's no way he'd refuse. The two start chatting, and Khan introduces himself as someone very responsible and meticulous in his work, both in games and in real life, so Flora can trust him. Flora also reveals that she needs Khan's help in real life, not in the game. Khan's face lights up as he starts speculating about what kind of girl she might be, when Flora speaks up saying she's been searching for someone both cute and strong like Khan, which nearly makes him lose control. Seeing that Khan has taken the bait, Flora leans her head on his shoulder, tempting him that if he helps her with that task, she'll give him something very important to her. Khan feels like he's about to explode, thinking he's found true love. He even thinks ahead to marrying Flora. Khan thinks he should take initiative, so he turns to hold Flora's shoulders and looks straight into her eyes, saying he'll do his best. Khan is curious about where they can meet in real life, but Flora just says they'll meet soon, and suddenly Khan falls down. In another world, a swordsman is on a mission to rescue a princess from pursuers with tanks. Being surrounded like this, even the strongest swordsman would have to give up. And soon all his teammates have been eliminated, leaving only the captain and the princess. The blue-haired guy demands the captain hand over the princess in exchange for his life as a show of respect for a steel sword. But Steel Sword Sanglain refuses and will fight to the death to protect the princess. So the commander on the other side draws his sword, saying he'll defeat him here today to complete the mission. Suddenly, Khan along with his chair falls from the sky and crushes the enemy commander. The soldiers see their commander crushed and rush over. Sanglain takes this opportunity to tell the princess to escape, but she wants to save Khan too, so he throws a rope and drags him along. After escaping, the group bombards him with questions about who he is, where he's from, why he's dressed like this, what that light was. But Khan is the one who needs answers here. This is the outskirts of St. Pyria, a name that sounds like something from an adventure novel. After flailing around for a bit, Khan seems to understand. He thinks he's dreaming, so the blonde girl punches him, saying this isn't a dream, idiot. Khan gets angry from being punched and is about to punch back. So Sanglain points his sword threateningly, asking if he knows who this is before trying to touch her. This petite blonde girl is the 36th princess of St. Pyria. If Khan acts rudely, Sanglain will separate his head from his neck. Khan can't believe this girl is a princess, because normally princesses are delicate, beautiful girls like the blue-haired one. That girl is Mariandale, the princess's maid. Khan sidles up to her and showers her with compliments. He'd rather get to know the beautiful girl than the grumpy swordsman or the bratty kid. Seeing Khan so girl crazy, Princess Pyria tells him this maid is a boy. Mariandale also takes Khan's hand and places it there to verify, making him lose all faith in women. Already in a difficult situation and meeting such unusual people, Khan asks if they know about where he lives, but of course no one knows. At this moment, the blue-haired guy named Variation has returned to base to report the mission failure to the commander. But he explains the reason for failure was being ambushed by a stranger who fell from the sky. So they start discussing what stranger could have ambushed Variation, and the commander wants to meet Khan once. Meanwhile, Khan has been invited by Sanglain to accompany them in escorting Princess Pyria to her wedding with a neighboring country to form an alliance. And those guys earlier were probably rebels trying to prevent this. Khan thought the princess was older than him, but she's actually only 8 years old. This is clearly illegal. The princess doesn't even know what marriage means. Khan tells her that if she gets married she'll have to do strange things, but the princess says she's completely fine with it. While walking, Khan steps on a rock and it hurts terribly, so he immediately asks them to buy him a pair of shoes. After all, they were saved by Khan earlier, so they agree. Entering the town, Sanglain takes Khan to a shoe store, but all the shoes they pick for him are very strange. So Khan asks the shopkeeper to bring out the most expensive pair, and it looks very bizarre. They're walking down the street when Mariandale notices two people tailing them from behind. So Sanglain signals Khan that when he counts to 3 they should run into the alley ahead. They run into that alley, then ambush the two tailors. Sanglain throws Khan a weapon taken from them. Enemies flood in from behind, so Sanglain and Mariandale have to go out and fight, while Khan and Princess Pyria hide under a cloth. The group then follows the underground sewer and makes their way to the city gate. However, there are no guards here. Khan sees Sanglain hesitating, so he runs out to check himself, then calls everyone to come out. But as soon as they emerge, they see the commander has been waiting. He is Irek. He's much stronger than the blue-haired guy Khan defeated earlier, so he decides to take on all three. Sanglain also draws his sword ready to sacrifice himself to protect the princess. However, Irek's sword is very powerful, capable of unleashing skills. With just one strike, he sends both Mariandale and Sanglain flying, knocking them both unconscious. Khan then draws his sword too, but is easily defeated. Irek feels disappointed because Khan isn't as expected, then approaches the princess. Khan continues to stand up and fight without giving up. Admiring this effort, Irek decides to unleash his ultimate technique. However, while Irek is powering up his move, Khan runs up and kicks him straight in the groin, making him pass out, then takes the whole group away. Sanglain didn't expect Khan could defeat such a tough enemy, and he also takes Irek's sword as a trophy. Princess Piria decides from now on to appoint Khan as her knight, and he has no right to refuse because this is the princess's order. If he disobeys, Sanglain will take his head, but he still firmly wants to refuse because he doesn't want to be a servant to this bratty kid. The next day, Irek wakes up and finds himself lying in a hospital bed. Suddenly, he recalls the memory of yesterday. His sensitive area was kicked directly by Khan. At this moment, the doctor enters and delivers sad news to Irek. Due to severe injury, one side has been removed. Irek sees that his two precious jewels are now down to one side and becomes extremely devastated. He swears to make Khan pay in the most brutal way. On the other side, Khan is still firmly opposing having to be a servant to this bratty kid, even though it's an official announcement from the St. Piria Empire issued by the princess herself. Moreover, Khan now has a very important task of finding a way to return to his own world, so he doesn't have time for these people. However, Sanglain thinks that currently Khan has no clues about how to return to that world, has no food with him, and doesn't know anything about this place. He might as well follow them for safety. Princess Piria even promises if Khan agrees to be her servant, she'll provide him food and lodging. But Khan has his own pride and can't stand being ordered around by others, so he leaves. They still have to proceed to the capital, so no one bothers to stop Khan. After all, having more people would only cause trouble. Though it seems Khan forgot the sword he took from Irek. Irek has also returned to the ranks. All his subordinates believe he only lost because he was cheated. But the more his subordinates make excuses for Irek, the more his face pales with embarrassment. So he leaves with the excuse of having a meeting. As he walks, he keeps tilting to one side, looking very comical. Khan is sitting enjoying music from his smartphone under a tree when suddenly Mariandale comes looking for him. Not sure whether to call her or him. But anyway, Mariandale wants to ask Khan to escort for a while. Mariandale asks if Khan feels uncomfortable traveling with them, but it's not that he hates them. It's just that Khan hates being involved in certain obligatory matters. The feeling of being the main character without freedom to decide isn't fun at all. Mariandale says the princess just doesn't like speaking honestly. But actually she finds Khan very reliable, which is why she gave him the important role of knight. Moreover, in this world, becoming a knight is something to be very proud of. After that, Mariandale takes Khan to where the carrier pigeons are. But in this world, they're enormous. In this world, there are no phones or emails, so information can only be transmitted by carrier pigeons. Irek has also gone to report to his superior. He needs to capture Princess Piria soon, as well as retrieve the sword from Khan. He's certain Khan doesn't know how to use that sword, so there's nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, Khan has gathered with Sanglain to study how to use the sword. He notices at the hilt there's a trigger and an Alma crystal gem. Its function is to collect energy. But when Sanglain uses this sword to swing and cut an ancient tree in half, Khan is amazed. But he says this is no different from using a normal sword. Seeing this, Khan loses patience, starts tossing the sword around, even demanding to take the gem out to sell for money. Suddenly, Princess Piria comes to find Khan and tells him to follow her for a moment. The two arrive at a watchtower in the town. The princess explains this land is only temporarily peaceful. If something happens to it, the world will be split in two and face destruction. To prevent the world from destruction, Princess Piria must accept this marriage, sacrificing her youth to protect the world. So she really hopes Khan will help and protect her. But Khan thinks the two previous victories were just luck, and he has no real strength. Just then, Irek has brought tanks and troops to fire directly at the watchtower where Khan and the princess are standing. The blue-haired guy also starts tracking Khan, since besides Irek, only he knows his face. Erek continues firing and demands Khan show himself, while Khan has successfully regrouped with Sanglain. Suddenly, a grenade falls at their feet, so the whole group has to run outside to dodge, but unluckily runs right into Erek and his men. Erek immediately controls the tank to aim the cannon directly at Khan's face and fires, but his shot goes astray and hits the blue-haired guy standing on the roof. Erek tries firing a second time, but the shot still goes astray. It seems because one side was removed, his center of gravity is now off. Sanglain also notices something strange and decides to clear a path for Khan. He believes Khan will be able to use the sword through some miracle. With that said, Sanglain draws his sword and charges to slash one side of the tank's wheels. Khan then also activates Erek's sword somehow and charges up. But suddenly he trips on a rock and falls flat on his face. The sword then also somehow transforms into a very heavy stone mace. Regardless of Erek preparing to fire, Khan still charges forward and presses the button on the sword, creating an explosion that blows away the tank. However, only the tank is destroyed. Erek afterwards still emerges unharmed and charges at Khan, wanting to take his life. Except because one side was removed, he keeps staggering like a drunk. Khan also realizes this is because he kicked his sensitive area, so he decides to help balance his center of gravity by swinging a sword strike straight to the groin, making him pass out on the spot. The battle then temporarily ends. The soldiers carry Erek away on a stretcher and retreat, promising if they meet again they'll defeat him. Khan intends to attack them while Erek is injured, but Sanglain stops him because they're very strong. But anyway, he also has praise for Khan after that victory. Even that fierce little princess has a very satisfied smile. Khan then agrees to follow along as a swordsman protecting Princess Piria on the condition that they help him find a way to return to his world. The princess tells him he should visit the capital. Not far away, a blonde girl is secretly observing Khan's group. She sends a flying squirrel to approach them. The next day, Erek wakes up and finds himself lying in a hospital bed again, which makes him recall the memory of yesterday. His sensitive area was struck directly by Khan. At this moment, that doctor walks in again with that look in his eyes and delivers sad news to Erek. His remaining side has also had to be removed due to injury. Erek sees that his last precious jewel has also been destroyed and becomes so devastated that he faints on the spot. On the other side, Khan is traveling with everyone on the way to the capital, because according to the princess, there's a possibility he might find some clues to return to his world. At this moment, Mariandale realizes the light emitted when Khan used that sword was indeed the light of Alma. Combined with him falling from the sky, it's very possible Khan is someone from Alvidia. Alvidia is a legendary land that was lifted into the sky by the Ikshan tribe in ancient times, and the Ikshan tribe has a close connection with Alma crystal. The group is chatting when suddenly a flying squirrel approaches from below on the road. It keeps doing cute actions, so Mariandale and Sanglain really want to catch it as a pet. But Khan stops them because they shouldn't forget their mission is to get to the capital as soon as possible. Not to mention catching wild animals is illegal. He keeps rambling on about nature and natural laws, things that no one here understands. Then he chases the squirrel back to nature. The group then continues on without knowing that creature hasn't given up. On the other side, Erek's high-ranking subordinates are discussing their leader being on sick leave. They feel very worried because he has lost twice to the same opponent. That night, the princess and the other two are curious why Khan was so determined to get rid of that animal. Although Khan also feels a bit worried about it, he decides to sleep first. The next morning, Khan wakes up and screams because the animal from yesterday has found its way to him. Turns out it had been following them the whole time. Khan keeps chasing the animal away, but the princess thinks this squirrel likes him, which is why it came. Being liked by an animal is nothing to make such a fuss about. So the two start arguing loudly. But Khan uses all his strength to chase it away, while Mariandale calls the animal back and swears to take care of it with her life. Khan still firmly disagrees afterwards. He paints a bunch of tragic scenarios about raising wild animals, but Mariandale has decided to raise it so she doesn't care. Khan has no other choice but to play on Mariandale's psychology. Remember, everyone's mission is to protect the princess, so don't get distracted by this animal. But he gets interrupted by Sanglain. In the past, there was a hero named Arthur. He was a great swordsman with exceptional intelligence. Sanglain continues to tell of his power and fame, but concludes with the fact that he really liked cats, making the whole story ridiculous. Sanglain thinks if they can't protect this small life, then how can they be capable of protecting the princess? The princess is also tired of hearing Khan complain by now. If he continues like this, she won't hesitate to fire him. Khan isn't scared either, so they part ways. Khan then goes to buy some supplies for hunting, because he doesn't believe a top server player in games like him can't hunt this small animal. Sanglain asks what Khan is planning to do, and he says he wants to go hunting. That night, Khan brings the supplies he just bought to stake out and catch the flying squirrel. But Mariandale discovers him and points a gun at his head, asking what he's planning. So Khan changes his plan to cooking a pot of poisoned soup to lure the squirrel to eat. While laughing wickedly, Princess Piria comes and asks what he's doing. Khan tries to cover up, saying he's just learning to cook. So she makes him taste it to see if it's poisonous, making his face turn pale. The next morning, Princess Piria calls everyone out for a meeting. She doesn't understand why Khan hates this animal so much. Clearly, it simply likes him. Under everyone's questioning, Khan gives in. He reveals he's allergic to pets, so he feels unwell when near that animal. But he still looks normal even with a squirrel sitting on his head, so they conclude he's lying. Khan feels this squirrel can understand what everyone is saying and is picking a fight, so the princess gives him a punch. "You're the one who's looking for trouble here." Princess Piria is about to end the matter here, but Mariandale realizes Khan must have a reason for acting this way. So Khan starts telling everyone about a story from when he was young. Back then, Khan was riding his bike in the rain, completely soaked. When passing by a bush, he heard a weak sound coming from inside. The curious instinct of a child drove him to find the source of that sound. After searching for a while, he found 2 abandoned kittens placed inside a box. He brought those 2 cats home and asked his mother to let him keep them, and she agreed. He took care of them, and yet, Khan keeps telling the story ambiguously, making everyone very curious about what actually happened. He took care of those 2 kittens, and yet when they grew up, they never liked Khan at all. So from that moment on, Khan swore he would never get involved with cute animals again. Sanglain thinks this could be a good opportunity for Khan to change his perspective. Hearing this, Khan also raises his hand to shake hands and make peace with the squirrel, but it bites his arm, making him angry enough to want to smash it against the wall. Unable to stand this squirrel anymore, Khan draws his sword to battle the animal. Despite everyone telling him not to be rough with such a small creature, Khan sets conditions. If he wins, the squirrel must disappear from his sight, and if Khan loses, it should also not appear before him again. They make Khan set fair conditions. If he loses, he must let the squirrel travel with everyone. Khan channels energy and unleashes a strike that breaks the whole floor, but the squirrel had already dodged to another spot long ago. No matter how hard he tries to attack, it still dodges, then jumps on his face and scratches him. Finally, Khan corners the squirrel against the wall. He unleashes a decisive blow, thinking he's defeated it. But unexpectedly, it jumps into the air and delivers a kick that knocks Khan out on the spot. Since he lost, Khan now has to accept the squirrel traveling with them. Although he's accepted the squirrel traveling along, Khan and it still can't get along and keep fighting with each other. Sanglain then comes up with an idea. Khan immediately snaps back that if it's about throwing away this animal, he'll listen. But what he wants to say is they should give this squirrel a name instead of calling it monster or that thing. They say they're naming it, but all the names they give this squirrel sound very strange. Khan stops them, saying you can't just randomly name pets when you don't know who it is and what it likes. Also, the rule for naming animals is 4 syllables. You can name it anything, but only a maximum of 4 syllables. After much debate, they decide to name this squirrel pet as suggested by Khan, then prepare to depart for a fishing village. Meanwhile, Irek is being driven by Variation back to his family's mansion. Here he meets his fiancée again. His fiancée, named Amelia, hears that Irek's honor was tarnished on the battlefield and feels very sorry. They greet each other, and she thanks Variation for saving her future husband. The 3 then go inside. Amelia takes out a family heirloom medicine to apply to Irek's wound, even saying she'll apply the medicine for him. Irek fears if Amelia finds out his 2 precious jewels have been removed, she'll be very shocked and won't want to marry him. So Irek has to refuse, even though this will make his fiancée sad. Irek then gets into Variation's car to prepare to leave when the butler asks Irek what happened with Amelia because she's sad. Not wanting to leave his fiancée lonely, Irek calls her down to get in the car and go sightseeing with him. Throughout the trip, Irek only worries about what will happen if he tells Amelia that part of him is gone or not. Surely she'll be very shocked and want to abandon him. The 3 of them then arrive at a hill to camp. While Variation is down playing in the water, Amelia asks Irek how many children he wants in the future. Hearing this question makes Irek's heart ache. He doesn't know if he can have children in this condition. His fiancée thinks Irek doesn't like talking about having children because children are a gift from heaven, not something one gets to choose. The more Emilia talks, the more devastated Irek becomes. So he wanders into the forest, then looks up to the sky asking God how he should tell his fiancée. Emilia notices Irek seems strange, so she asks Variation where her husband is wounded, but he doesn't know either. Variation tells Emilia the reason Irek was injured was because he was attacked by Khan twice. That evening, the three of them return to the mansion and see Limpus and Gabriella already waiting inside. They also heard Irek was injured, so they brought him some family heirloom medicine from the Daska's family. Irek initially planned to refuse, but after hearing this medicine doesn't need to be applied, but only drunk, he happily accepts, making his fiancée even sadder inside. Variation then asks the butler who those two people are, and he says they're distant relatives of Irek. Emilia is about to go home, but Limpus stops her and tells the butler to throw a party to cheer up Irek. It turns out Limpus had a reason for telling the butler to throw a party. The family heirloom medicine Gabriella gave Irek earlier is actually a stimulant. After drinking it, one becomes aroused. Gabriella's mission is to seduce Irek, then become a daughter-in-law of the Dukakis family, while Limpus will take advantage of Emilia's wounded heart, approach and marry her. Gabriella then prepares medicine for Irek and tells him to drink it, even saying the medicine will be more effective if he lies on the bed. As soon as Irek gets on the bed, Gabriella immediately strips off all her clothes, leaving only her underwear, and seduces Irek. However, Irek pushes her hand away. Knowing she can't seduce him, she starts throwing a tantrum. Limpus sees this and runs in, making a scene, demanding Irek take responsibility for this. Variation and Emilia think something happened, so they also run over to see. The scene before her eyes makes Emilia unable to bear it, and she leaves. Meanwhile, Limpus won't listen to any of Irek's excuses, because only someone impotent could stay calm after drinking that medicine. Irek's heart stings hearing this, so he demands Limpus settle this through force. If Irek wins, he wants Limpus to acknowledge his honor, and that Gabriella is still pure. And if he loses, he'll take responsibility for this matter. So Limpus arranges to meet Irek early tomorrow morning at the fog forest for a duel, then leaves. Variation feels something is wrong, so he follows, and happens to overhear the despicable truth about those two people. Variation then runs in to report to Irek, and advises him to abandon this fight because it's a trap. But for Irek, there are many reasons for accepting this challenge. He wants to win to prove to Emilia he's still pure. The next day, Irek and Variation arrive at the meeting point to fight the Limpus siblings. Variation accuses the siblings of planning to use a honey trap to destroy other people's families. But there's no way they'll admit guilt, so Irek has to accept the terms and fight. However, after the agreement, that Limpus calls out a muscular thug wielding a weapon to fight for him. That muscular guy then calls out more accomplices, and they form an army to gang up on Irek. But Irek isn't scared of them. He charges up and takes down each one with a single blow. However, afterwards Limpus plays dirty again, calling out a demonic chicken to fight, because he's still injured. Before long, Irek runs out of strength and can't continue fighting. Just as Irek is preparing for death, he hears Emilia's voice. His fiancée has come to cheer him on. Irek then seems to get a power buff to continue fighting. But suddenly the chicken turns and charges towards Emilia, so he has to awaken some power to rush forward and intercept and destroy the chicken. Then Irek walks up and points his sword at Limpus's face, making him surrender. But when Irek just turns away, he kicks him straight in the groin. However, after having both precious jewels removed, Irek no longer knows what pain is. With an angry face, he turns around and punches Limpus down, then walks to his fiancée. This victory is dedicated to you. They start wondering why Irek can still stand firm after being kicked in that spot. So Irek has to lie that he has trained a lot, making Variation call him a man of steel. The next day, Irek says goodbye to his fiancée to return. This time he accepts the medicine bottle to make Emilia happy, and promises he will definitely return soon. And the place they're headed to is Tamatsukir Hot Spring to rest and recover. After a very long time traveling, Khan is now almost at the city. Sanglain says there he'll get to lie on a warm, soft bed and eat as much as he wants. But Khan thinks adults only tell lies, saying they're almost there, but actually it's still a long way. What Khan wants now is a soft bed, delicious food, and beautiful girls. Seeing this, Sanglain points behind them. Looks like today the group will go to the beach. Khan sits eating green grapes and enjoys watching beautiful girls in bikinis with big breasts and curvy bottoms. Just getting one girl would be satisfying enough. So Khan takes off his shirt preparing to go to the beach. At this moment, Sanglain walks in to call him. His body is extremely toned and muscular, while Khan looks skinny as a chopstick, making him feel a bit insecure. The princess and the maid then also change into swimsuits and head out to the beach. This group includes one lowly, one crossdresser, one giant. Only he is skin and bones, so Khan doesn't dare show off his body and has to wear a jacket over himself. He keeps making excuses to blame his skinny, weak body. Mariandale sees Khan rambling and is about to comfort him, but when she just stands up, the men around are captivated by her figure. Khan goes over to warn them this person is cross-dressing as a girl, but the flirting crowd doesn't care. Male or female doesn't matter as long as it feels good. Sanglain has returned from diving at this point. Mariandale is still surrounded by both men and women. Khan wonders how Mariandale has big breasts and curvy bottom yet is a boy. Moreover, being a bodyguard for the princess doesn't necessarily require cross-dressing. But with a hot body combined with excellent cooking skills, plus being able to play instruments and having knowledge about herbs, cross-dressing is normal. Nevertheless, Khan still can't accept that Mariandale is gay. Sanglain says that Mariandale giving up her masculinity has a backstory behind it. If she hadn't done so, perhaps she wouldn't be here now. In the past, Mariandale used to be very masculine. He learned martial arts and his father passed down the water shock kai technique, something it took him a long time to master. Mariandale's father then gave him the short sword that his grandfather had given him. This seemed to have caught the attention of his older brother. He wasn't convinced, so he became very angry, because he should have been the heir, not his gentle, kind-hearted younger brother. Khan thinks the story Sanglain is telling is fake, because it sounds just like a manga. Sanglain continues, after that incident, conflict arose. The father was now weak and lying in bed sick. One of the children was caring for him. He wanted to say something before he died. Unexpectedly, that child used the short sword to stab their father to death. The three children were very sad over their father's death. The third brother blamed Mariandale for killing their father because the murder weapon was the short sword he had inherited. Although he tried to argue back, he was also suspected by the second brother, so he stayed silent. Although everyone knew who the real culprit was, Mariandale chose to stay silent because their father died before appointing a successor and hadn't finished teaching the secret martial arts. If this became a big deal, the family's reputation would be tarnished. After Mariandale took the blame for her father's death, that rumor spread. The relationship between her and her two brothers became increasingly tense. One night, when Mariandale was studying, the second brother snuck into her room planning to assassinate her, but failed. The second brother accepted that Mariandale was the one worthy of learning the secret martial arts. However, Mariandale decided to cripple her own martial arts and leave. So Mariandale left her family and never returned. However, Sanglain also doesn't know the real reason behind her cross-dressing. At this moment, the blonde woman nearby has heard everything. Continuing Mariandale's story, she was later found by a girl while lying unconscious in a grass field. That girl saved Mariandale's life. She told her that she had been abused and managed to escape to here, while Mariandale at this point couldn't remember anything at all. The two of them then continued to live and work together happily. Mariandale went to work to earn money, even sold the short sword her father had left behind. Then one day, Mariandale and that girl went to the riverbank together. She said goodbye and left forever. It turns out, this name Mariandale is the name of the person she once loved very much. By becoming that girl, Mariandale would continue living that girl's life. That night, while everyone was sound asleep, Khan couldn't sleep because he felt guilty for judging Mariandale. Mariandale also came back from going out at this point. Khan got her a glass of water, then somehow ended up touching those huge breasts. Although knowing this was wrong, Khan couldn't take his hand away. Mariandale blushes and pins Khan down on the bed, about to do that with him, making him scream miserably. The next morning, Khan wakes up and finds himself lying next to Mariandale and is shocked. In his panic, Khan accidentally mentions Mariandale's ex-lover, making her confused. It turns out the story Sanglain told earlier was made up, yet Khan believed it completely. The real reason behind Mariandale transitioning is simply because she wanted to. The rebel organization has now also heard news that Princess Piria is heading to the capital, while Erek, the best in the organization, still hasn't been able to complete the mission because he was defeated by an extremely strong knight. Rumor has it that knight can even use Alma gear. Until now, the organization still has no clues about this knight's identity. They decide to send someone to investigate quietly because Irek is someone who values honor greatly, afraid if it's spoken about he'll lose face. They then go to the dungeon to release a man-eating monster named Jorg to hunt down that knight. After being released, the monster is extremely bloodthirsty, ready to tear apart prey immediately. Back to Khan's group, Khan is still continuously asking if he'll find a way home if they go to the capital. The princess's plan is to take Khan to the capital, then find a way to send him to the Sky City Olvidia, because maybe there might be some clues to help him return home. But until then, Khan must obediently do his job as a bodyguard. Meanwhile, that monster Jorg has also spotted the group and is following them. They then rent an inn to stay at. Khan asks how much longer until they reach the capital, and Sanglain says if nothing goes wrong on the way, about 2 months. Khan can't stand it because it's too long. But right now they really need to keep information secure, so they need to avoid public transportation. Sanglain says Princess Pyria really trusts Khan, so he should focus on doing his job of protecting her well. Right at this moment, Mariandale rushes in saying the princess is acting very strange. Very likely she has, then runs to the princess's room, making Khan curious and follow. When they arrive, Mariandale and Sanglain are extremely frightened, while Khan doesn't see anything unusual about the princess, so they pull him outside so as not to anger the princess. Khan wonders what exactly happened to the princess. Sanglain asks if he saw the thing on the princess's head. It's just a normal hair tuft swaying, so what's there to worry about? Before they can explain, the princess has already called Mariandale saying she's hungry. The group then quickly runs to the kitchen to find food. Even though they've taken all the food from the cupboard, Mariandale feels this isn't enough. The chef walks in and sees this scene about to make a fuss. But Sanglain takes out a gold coin saying today he'll book the entire inn, requesting he not accept any more guests. Mariandale tells Sanglain and Khan to go buy more food. Khan is about to argue, but Mariandale swings a knife and chops off a pig's head, scaring him into running immediately. Khan and Sanglain just leave the inn when that cannibal has arrived. The two have now bought a lot of provisions and are heading back. Sitting in the cart, Sanglain tells Khan about the princess's situation. He says currently the princess is in her hyperactive period, although he's never seen the princess during that time. But according to everyone it's very scary, so don't make her angry. As for the hair tuft on the princess's head, once the third hair tuft on her head stands up, everything will be over. The two then return with ingredients, and Mariandale has cooked a ton of food and tells them to bring it up to the princess immediately. When they bring the food to the princess's room, there are already many empty plates here. She demands something bigger. Even the pile of food they just set down disappears in the blink of an eye. In the kitchen at this moment, because Mariandale has been cooking continuously, her fingers have gone completely numb. But she still has to keep making food. Khan keeps bringing food up, but every time it still disappears in the blink of an eye, so Khan starts grumbling. Although Sanglain has stopped Khan, the second hair tuft on the princess's head has now stood up, making him break out in cold sweat. The princess demands they speak more politely, must say meow at the end of sentences. Although this will turn Sanglain into a clown, but to preserve his life he still has to comply. After that, the princess also makes Pet transform into a bird, so it also has to obediently obey. Mariandale at this point is like a madwoman from cooking too much. Khan starts feeling annoyed, thinking it's just a child reaching puberty, therefore they shouldn't spoil her too much. So after that, Khan goes up to the princess's room to talk. He understands the princess is currently growing up, so she wants to eat a lot. But bothering others like this isn't good. She needs to help everyone, and the first thing she needs to do is help Khan carry these dishes down to the kitchen. Mariandale and Sanglain are then very shocked because the princess actually helped Khan carry dishes down. After she leaves, Mariandale tells him not to be so reckless next time if he doesn't want to die. Khan then advises everyone not to worry too much and should go rest because today was hard work. That night, when the lights are off, that man-eating monster finally acts. He breaks into the inn and notices the kitchen light is on. He sneaks in to check and sees Mariandale is still boiling water here. He lunges forward to skewer Mariandale, but she splashes a ladle of hot soup in his face. He then falls down and gets a skewer in his face. Baking flour then also falls on his face. Mariandale angrily charges at him and beats him up, telling him if he still values his life to get lost from here. The cannibal gets scared off and runs away in a panic. He then switches targets to Sanglain, who is sitting guard in the hallway. Sanglane sees him and doesn't care who he is, just advises him to leave if he doesn't want to die. The killer is scared to death, but still thinks this is just a bluff, so he manages to sneak to the princess's room. After observing for a while, he knows the princess is sleeping on the bed, so he plans to approach and strike. At the moment he's about to strike, the third hair tuft on the princess's head stands up. And after that there is no after. The nightmare officially begins. Khan is going to the bathroom when suddenly that guy lunges and clings to him. He begs Khan to save him, so he thinks this is someone Mariandale and Sanglane hired to scare him. He then goes to the princess's room to check the situation, but doesn't see her on the bed. The candle is then blown out. The cannibal is scared unconscious on the spot. The princess then lunges at Khan and toys with him. Khan sees the 3 hair tufts on her head and understands what has happened, so he jumps out the window to escape. The plan to assassinate Princess Piria has failed, and after that no one ever sees that mysterious assassin again. A few days later, the group arrives at the hot spring resort. Khan sees this place is also full of game stalls just like his world. Although rumor has it the hot water here is very good for the skin and can cure bone and joint diseases, Khan doesn't feel very interested because he has to go to the hot spring with only men and a kid rather than pretty girls. Khan then asks Sanglane about services for men, so he points him to the entertainment district for men. If he wants to do that he can go there. After chatting for a while they arrive at the hotel where Sanglane always stays when passing through here. They are then led to their room by staff. Khan wonders whether Mariandale will bathe on the male or female side. Sanglane tells him not to worry because he has booked a premium room with a hot spring inside for the princess and Mariandale, while the 2 of them will stay in a tiny room and have to use the outdoor bath. Khan excitedly runs around and swims everywhere like a child, but Sanglane holds him back, telling him to be quiet and calm down. Khan feels nostalgic because the comfortable feeling is just like in his world. He remembers the time he went to a hot spring with his family. Khan sits listening to Sanglane share for a while when suddenly that part of him stands up. He quickly runs away fearing Sanglane will notice this. At this rate he won't be able to go outside. Suddenly Khan remembers what Sanglane said earlier. The hot water here can rejuvenate bathers. While still skeptical he spots Irek is also here. So he has to quickly hide because he doesn't want to face the person he hates most in the world. Moreover, if caught he'll definitely get beaten up. Because he forgot to get the room key from Sanglane. He can't get into the room and has to go ask Mariandale and the princess for help. But the 2 of them are bathing so they can't hear anything at all. While asking for help that erect guy once again passes by this way. So Khan has to temporarily hide behind a lamppost. Out of options, Khan returns to the outdoor bath to find Sanglane, but doesn't see him here. He suddenly remembers the entertainment district for men from earlier. Unfortunately at this moment that Irek also comes to bathe, so Khan has to quickly hide in the laundry basket, about to take the opportunity to escape when he suddenly hears Irek praying inside. Khan witnesses him praying for his 2 precious jewels to be restored and feels sorry for him too. The princess and Mariandale are still enjoying themselves so they can't hear anything. So Khan has to ask the receptionist to tell them not to leave their room. Right at this moment, Irek once again appears. He also notices Khan looks somewhat familiar, but thinks again why would someone like Khan be here. After that, Khan still holding that part, runs to the entertainment district for men to find Sanglane. Going alone here at night he keeps getting solicited to enjoy services. This district is too big so finding Sanglane at each bar is impossible. So Khan starts analyzing based on Sanglane's preferences. He's an animal lover so he's likely at a place with girls cosplaying as animals. Suddenly, Khan's eyes stop at a cafe where you drink while playing with cats. Sure enough when he goes inside, he sees Sanglane lying and playing with cats here. Khan tells Sanglane that Irek is here, but he just wants to avoid him rather than fight. Suddenly, that Irek for some reason also appears here, so Sanglane has to grab Khan and run somewhere else. At this point, Khan's little brother has also calmed down. He realizes his little brother stood up because that Irek was lurking around. So now he no longer has to sneak around like a thief. But suddenly his body starts glowing, so he gets everyone's attention while walking on the street. Walking around with a glowing body like this makes it very easy to be discovered, so they decide to quickly return to the room. Since today was tiring anyway, they decide to go to sleep. But after turning off the lights, Khan's body is too bright so they can't sleep. Unable to sleep in this condition, Sanglane and Khan sit up to find a solution. The problem isn't insomnia, but if this condition doesn't go away, he'll be rejected by recruiting companies. Hospitals will refuse his blood type. Girlfriends will call him impotent because he can't turn off the lights. He keeps rambling about problems he'll face if he keeps glowing like this. So he gets up to go take a bath. Khan realizes the problem he's facing is somewhat related to the hot spring here. His little brother standing up to his body glowing all happened after he soaked in hot water. The reason only he's affected is probably because he's a Hyperion, and perhaps the reason that Erek is also here is because of this. Sure enough, after soaking in hot water for the third time, his body stops glowing. Khan is happy that he's stopped glowing when suddenly he hears Erek say, "So you're here too," startling him. Erek once again declares war on Khan. He wants to settle everything here. But Khan suggests he should cease fire because this is a hot spring. People come here to relax, not to fight. Just as Khan finishes speaking, his body suddenly glows even brighter than before. Erek thinks Khan really wants to fight him. Moreover, Khan's little brother is even glowing more intensely, as if challenging this Erek. Erek wants to charge in for a one-on-one fight with Khan, but is stopped. He thinks if they fight here, the hot spring will be destroyed, causing trouble for the owner, and the loser will be discovered dead naked. If this spreads, it will cause the hotel to lose business. Erek hears this makes sense, so he decides to put on clothes first, then continue. While getting dressed, Khan suddenly gets the idea to play dirty. Taking advantage of Erek's carelessness, he takes the broom from the room and hits Erek hard on the head, then leaves with the whole group that very night. His body is still glowing like a lamp, leading the way for the group. The group then continues on their journey. Khan is forced to wrap bandages around his body, wear a hat, dark glasses, and a turtleneck to avoid attracting attention since he's still glowing. But now he looks even more suspicious, looking exactly like an assassin. The princess teases him, calling him a pervert, so Khan opens a layer of bandages, making her eyes dazzled. Sanglane scolds him not to do that since he was told not to attract attention. They then arrive at a village to enjoy lunch. The food is very delicious, but Khan only gets to sit drinking juice and watch them eat. Later he'll get to eat after they find a hiding spot for him. But because he's too hungry, Khan decides not to listen to them, opening the bandages to eat. Although Sanglane and everyone quickly stops him, they still get noticed by people around them. They then quickly leave but are stopped by villagers. They want to see what's wrong with Khan. Sanglane says he has severe burns all over his body, so he needs bandages. But the villagers still stop Khan and pull the bandages off his body, revealing his glowing body. Thinking it's all over, suddenly the surrounding people all kneel down and bow. The village chief steps forward saying God will descend to earth, and according to legend his body will glow. So now, Khan is treated like God by the villagers here. Sanglane is about to explain, but Khan goes along with it, admitting he is indeed the one who fell from the sky. He is God, and those people are his loyal servants. Thanks to his bluffing, Khan has now been elevated to God, being served, eating well and dressing warmly. Khan thinks if they had admitted it earlier, who knows what the villagers would do, so they might as well go along with them. However, the light emanating from Khan's body is just excess Alma energy in his body, so Khan will escape from here before the villagers find out. Suddenly, the village chief comes knocking on Khan's door. He has brought the villagers along. The villagers cheer, calling for God, making the group question what Khan will do. The chief wants Khan to show the villagers his miracle. So Khan thinks for a moment, then raises both hands to the sky and shouts loudly. The light from his body becomes stronger. Also afterwards, a flock of blue butterflies flies over and lands on Khan, making the villagers completely worship him as God. Thinking everything is going smoothly, suddenly a young man stands up asking Khan to please save the village. It turns out this village's well has long dried up. Khan tells Sanglane to give him the sword, then Khan transforms it into a hammer shape, presses the button and swings it straight at the well. Underground water then gushes up and helps the villagers escape their difficulties. The princess thinks Khan is just lucky, so she advises him not to go deeper into this matter, or the consequences will be unpredictable. But Khan doesn't really care. He casually turns back to the villagers, boasting he is God. The village chief then asks Khan about the beginning of this world, so he starts spouting a bunch of nonsense theories. The villagers don't understand anything and just cheer. Khan's group is also afraid of being exposed, so they take turns covering for Khan, though they also don't understand what Khan is talking about. The more the villagers cheer, the more Khan continues to talk nonsense. The consequence is they have to stay a few more days, and the next day the whole village again comes to ask Khan about a bunch of things from sky to sea. where the world is going. So Khan again talks nonsense, making the princess's group have to step in and explain. A villager stands up to refute Khan, so he makes them bow down because ignorant humans wouldn't understand anything. A more beautiful world awaits us, even I don't know how to get there yet. The villagers still don't understand anything and just keep cheering. Khan is then given an entire palace, offered countless gold, silver, and treasures, food and drinks. Khan dresses and holds a staff just like a real god, even preaching to the villagers here. Because he gets to live in luxury, worshipped like God, surrounded by piles of gold, silver, and treasures, and also served by beautiful women. Khan gradually sinks into this swamp. Seeing this, Sanglain has to call Khan out for a serious talk. They demand Khan leave quickly, because at this rate, it's only a matter of time before villagers discover he's pretending to be God. But Khan is now too delusional about this. He thinks he's a living saint, even dreaming of having the villagers build him a magnificent palace and be served by 48 pretty girls. The princess slaps Khan once, reminding him of his real purpose in this world, why he's traveling with them. Khan now also realizes he's been lost. Suddenly, the village chief rushes in asking Khan to come greet the villagers. It turns out Khan's teachings are increasingly trusted by the people, so they're becoming chaotic and want to meet Khan. Khan realizes the situation is getting serious, so he agrees to let Sanglain wrap bandages on him and escape. But while preparing to escape, he's discovered by the village chief. Khan has to lie that he needs to go elsewhere to preach. But now the number of people believing in Khan's religion has skyrocketed. If he leaves, they might wage war against other sects. Khan demands they stop waging war against other sects immediately. He decides to step forward to teach them. Khan suggests the villagers build a tower at the distant mountain to expand the sect. This can both buy more time and utilize the labor of the villagers. Sanglain will handle designing the blueprint for the tower, since he graduated from architecture at military training school. Khan seems to look down on Sanglain, so the princess mocks that he graduated as valedictorian, not stupid like the glowing guy, making Khan speechless. After just a few days, the tower is built. Sanglain takes this opportunity to tell Khan to quickly use all his strength to glow more, providing energy for the hot air balloon he has prepared and fly into the sky, using the excuse that God must now return to heaven. The village chief calms his villagers, telling them to continue spreading Khan's teachings. After escaping that village, the light on Khan's body suddenly disappears. This also means the hot air balloon will fall. The group panics. The princess demands Khan quickly glow again. But no matter how hard he strains, he can't glow again, and the group continues falling down. Back to Erek. He is standing enjoying the breeze on a grassy hill, when suddenly the blonde girl who has been following Khan's group approaches. Her name is Alma Flora. She's from the Sky City, and Erek also knows her. At Erek's camp, his close associates are relaxing when Variation rushes over, announcing Erek will return to the army in a few days. The blonde thinks she can stay by Erek's side as his strategist, but the other three all oppose. All four are arguing that they are his most trusted person. That night, Pet wanders around the inn and sees everyone is sound asleep, so decides to run outside to report. Erek's four close associates are now drinking together. While drinking, they badmouth each other, so the red-haired and black-haired guys are about to stand up and fight. The blonde stops them because fighting over such a trivial reason will tarnish Erek's honor. The red-haired guy then sits down and asks the blonde why he claims to be the most suitable attendant for Erek, and he says he doesn't know. The black-haired one suggests they talk about their qualities to see who is most suitable. The black-haired one starts. He thinks he has the courage to face pain and danger, because while Erek was recovering, he went to train alone on the mountain, going through the harshest exercises to exceed his limits. But everyone thinks he trained like that only because of his womanizing nature and masochistic tendencies. The black-haired one also adds, while training on the mountain, he learned a killer technique that can decide the outcome of any battle. But its name is so long and ridiculous that no one can hear it. Meanwhile, Erek is being led by Flora to see something. She takes Erek to a forge. She has commissioned the blacksmith here to craft a sword for Erek, and this sword can be called the Holy Sword Caliber. Back to the drinking session. The red-haired one thinks Erek's attendant must be someone with enduring willpower and a steel spirit, which he has plenty of, specifically during one outing, specifically an extremely important mission. He and two teammates went into a tavern. The girls there knew their plan, so they refused to touch them. His two comrades fell one by one from being drunk, only he remained standing. The situation became critical when he had no money to pay. and in the end he had to spend the night with a girl there to pay. What they thought was something turned out to be a story about a night at a bar. No wonder his wife left him with such a womanizing nature. The black-haired one thinks at this point the most suitable attendant is definitely him. But the blonde says he and Variation still haven't spoken. Back to Erek. Flora puts a gem in and transfers energy to it. She also warns Erek not to lose it again because Almagir isn't easy to make. Erek takes the sword and vows to wash away the humiliation of the past. Continuing with the drinking table, the blonde thinks he suits Erek the most because what Erek needs in an attendant isn't strength but love. Everyone notices the blonde whenever drunk talks like a girl, not knowing he's actually a girl disguised as a boy. Hearing the blonde daydream about waking up next to Erek makes Variation unbearable, so he kicks him, daring to insult Erek with those words he won't forgive, because Erek already has a fiancé. The red-haired one angrily thinks that because of people blind in love, wanting to be a homewrecker like the blonde is why this world is in chaos. So many families have broken up. The blonde thinks the red-haired one is blaming him for his wife leaving. They argue back and forth. Variation wants the black-haired one to come stop them, but he's sleeping like the dead, knowing nothing. What can't be solved with words is solved with fists. The blonde and red-haired one stand up about to fight. Variation tries to stop them, reminding them the reason everyone came here to drink was to celebrate Erek's return to the army. But no one listens. Now they just want to see who deserves to be Erek's close associate. Hearing this, the black-haired one also wakes up. Wanting to join in, they'll fight to find the strongest to be Erek's attendant. Variation finally agrees to this battle. However, he will decide the rules. They then leave the tavern and go to a mountain to hunt. Their opponent is a giant dragon. The rule is regardless of who contributed most. Whoever defeats the dragon will be Erek's attendant. All four draw their swords, then charge at the dragon. The black-haired one is first to charge in. He rambles about the skill he learned, then swings a slash, but the dragon doesn't flinch at all. The red-haired one is a bit better. He manages to cut off the dragon's tail. The blonde and Variation charge in and break off the horns on its face. The dragon then runs away. The four of them chase after planning to hunt it. But suddenly a dragon 10 times bigger than the previous one appears, breathing fire once and making all four fall to the ground. Variation won't accept defeat, because if they lose, how can they face Erek? While struggling, Erek's shadow appears. He has come here with the sword Flora gave him. With just one strike, Erek successfully defeats the dragon. Erek also admits he was wrong to try facing Khan alone. Now he understands and will go eliminate Khan together with his four close associates. The four blue, red, black, and blonde guys are playing ball together at camp. They discuss Erek's wound, but until now, they still don't know where Erek is wounded. The blonde really wants to comfort him, but Erek already has a fiancé. On Khan's group's side, they're now almost out of provisions, so they have to catch fish to grill and get stream water to drink. Sweets for the princess have also run out. Khan scolds Mariandale for not calculating the amount of rations to bring. Having to sleep outdoors and eat makeshift things like this makes Khan feel very homesick. He craves delicious food and wants to read manga. Khan keeps rambling about habits from his world, though no one understands anything. Khan just wants to go home now, but that's also why he's traveling with the princess's group. They reassure Khan that when they reach the capital, there will definitely be some way for him to go home. That night, the whole group sleeps soundly by the fire. Only Khan alone can't sleep. He wants to play games, he wants to eat snacks and read manga, wants to watch anime at night. He's curious what happened to the games and movies he used to watch. The next day, the group arrives at the city. They notice Khan is a bit quiet today, also carving wood, making something since early morning. It turns out Khan made himself a game controller to feel less lonely. The group then goes to find an inn. The princess can finally soak herself in hot water. The whole group enjoys the relaxing moment, but when Sanglain goes up to tell Khan to bathe, he discovers Khan is holding the controller, pressing buttons, staring at the wall and rambling continuously, his eyes looking vacant. Sanglain then tells the princess and Mariandale about this. Khan now doesn't want to eat rice, but only wants snacks and manga. But they don't know what those are. According to Khan, snacks aren't sweet, have salty, spicy, or strange flavors, and are sliced thin. They don't understand anything but still try to go shopping for Khan. Khan is now staring at a rectangle on the wall, treating it as a TV, making everyone think he's gone crazy. Mariandale lays out the things she bought, but Khan angrily slams the pillow. This isn't what he wants. Leave him alone to play games. They also understand Khan is homesick and feeling lonely, so they want to help. Mariandale asks if Khan wants to eat anything, and he replies he wants to eat a big hamburger and a large coca. She asks Khan to write down the ingredients and instructions, then give it to her. After reading the ingredients list, these ingredients are very different from what they have. This will probably cost a lot of money, but since Khan has helped the princess quite a lot, she'll indulge him this time. They then go to the market to buy a bunch of ingredients. Khan at this point is like a mentally ill game addict. The princess goes up to call Khan down to try the hamburger he requested. Somehow Mariandale managed to make both hamburger and cola. When he sees the hamburger and cola, things he hasn't seen in so long, he eats and drinks ravenously and keeps wanting to eat more. But when Khan goes to the kitchen to see how Mariandale makes it, he discovers this place is like a witch's poison lab. There's even a monster that lunges out to attack him. Khan is scared to death and quickly runs up to his room, locks the door, and continues playing games. The princess's group again has to discuss. Mariandale thinks the problem isn't the taste. The princess asks Sanglane about this thing called manga that Khan requested, but they also don't know what it is. According to him, it's a story, but with many pictures. Mariandale then gives Khan some book and says this is manga in this world. When Khan opens it to read, he gets a nosebleed and faints because it turns out this is pornography. Khan's condition is getting worse. Now he's covered himself with a blanket and imagining he's playing games. The princess's group is also helpless. Sanglane demands Khan stop this nonsense immediately. He'll take him to play games that are much more real. After that, Sanglane takes Khan to a casino. Whatever this is in his world, he's also pretty good at it. However, Sanglane takes Khan down to the basement where he made reservations. Down here they're holding an underground MMA tournament. They can bet on the champion, and this masked guy with a saw is currently the favorite for champion. Sanglane then takes Khan to buy betting tickets, but he doesn't let Khan buy and says he can't bet. In the waiting room, Khan asks Sanglane why he can't buy betting tickets. Then just a few minutes later, Khan is called to the ring to fight against 3 big strong fighters. The championship favorite has now heard they found an opponent for the finals. It's the fighter who just arrived. Khan wins by running around the ring randomly, then climbing the fence, letting the other 3 fighters deal with each other. Then when only one is left, he charges forward and kicks him in the groin to win. The masked guy's manager thinks they can't underestimate Khan. He then shakes hands with Sanglane to enjoy the finals together. The masked guy then brings out his saw. Khan complains to the referee, but the other guy thinks Khan is also carrying a sword to the ring, so this is completely fair. The match begins. Khan runs around frantically because if he gets hit by the saw, he's definitely done for. Sanglane tells Khan to just fight him like when fighting a wreck, but Khan thinks these two are completely different. Khan asks can't he come in second, but the princess's group has already bet on him. Khan is cornered against the wall. He takes out his sword and knocks away the masked guy's saw. Everyone thinks he's about to win, but Khan uses the opportunity to run away, making the audience furious. Khan then blames the princess's group for setting him up to exploit him. He was just homesick for them to care about him a little more, but they drag him out to profit, even wanting to poison him. Everyone doesn't know what to say, so they go back to the room to sleep. A few days later, the group passes an abandoned castle and decides to stay there for the night. Khan complains he hasn't eaten anything all day, but tomorrow they'll reach the next town, so he has to endure. The next morning, the group continues on the road. Khan continues to complain because his body aches from having to sleep in the castle last night. Suddenly, Sanglane and Mariandale hear artillery fire, immediately grabbing the princess and Khan and jumping from that spot. Although they missed the target, Irek is very satisfied because that was a very good opening shot. Irek then leads his troops to Khan's location. They don't understand how they discovered their location, but the most important thing now is to find a way to deal with this. Khan intends to escape, but looking at this situation, they definitely won't let Khan get his wish, so the only way now is to divert and create an escape route. Khan and Sanglane charge forward to block Irek's soldiers. Irek's side coordinates very well, following commands along with finely forged weapons, making the princess's side no match. Irek charges forward to attack Khan. He uses his sword to block. The explosion created from the 2 Alma gear swords shatters the ground where they stand. The princess's group falls down the cliff, and Sanglane also jumps down after them. Khan has now regained consciousness, while the princess survives thanks to Mariandale holding her. Next to them is also the black-haired guy from Irek's group who fell down here unconscious. Irek's soldiers search for the black-haired guy in the river. but don't find him. Instead, they've captured Mariandale and brought her back to camp for interrogation. Mariandale keeps acting like she's just a stupid boy crazy fool who doesn't know anything to make Irek's troops let their guard down, thus buying time for her teammates to come rescue her. On Khan's side, they've now tied up the black-haired guy, but he absolutely refuses to reveal anything, so the princess steps forward to stomp on him. But Khan comes to stop her, because for a masochist like this black-haired guy, that's like a reward. He keeps demanding to be tortured, making even the princess feel regret for the first time when beating someone. As for Irek's side, he continues to interrogate Mariandale, but she keeps acting boy crazy and playing dumb, making Irek and his henchmen continue to let their guard down. Though they really want to interrogate her, they can't get anything. Back to Khan, the black-haired guy still refuses to say a word. Sanglane gets angry and is about to beat him up, but Khan stops him. Khan then plays psychological games. He asks the black-haired guy who is the strongest among them. The guy without suspicion answers Irek is the strongest while he ranks second. The other three people, one has a weakness of being soft toward women, one is a drunkard, and one still has a rather childish personality. But it seems the black-haired guy is still quite alert, not revealing any information about the cannon. Khan wonders what they should do with the black-haired guy now, because bringing him along will be very troublesome. Moreover, Mariandale might now be captured by Irek, so Khan comes up with an idea to rescue Mariandale. On Irek's side, a soldier runs in reporting they found the black-haired guy tied to a tree next to a campfire. There's a note stuck on his back. After reading the letter, Irek tells the soldiers to prepare, because Khan is ready to end everything. He then also releases Mariandale. Before leaving, Mariandale notices Irek has something very similar to her. When she looks down, Irek is startled and tells her to leave quickly. Mariandale has now returned to the abandoned castle and reunites with the group. Khan calls Mariandale to help because they're preparing to welcome Irek's troops. After that, Irek's troops arrive at the castle. They charge inside and see arrows that Khan has drawn. They think Khan wants them to follow the directions, so without suspicion they enter the first room. Inside is a torture chair. Irek's group doesn't understand why Khan would do this. Then the black-haired guy, as if seeing his true love, rushes up to try sitting. But as soon as he sits down, his legs get clamped so hard he screams. The second room has a magazine of a woman in a bikini. Everyone knows it's a trap, but the womanizing red-haired guy still walks up to try. He kicks the magazine away and quickly steps back, thinking he's solved Khan's trap, but suddenly a big basin falls on his head. In the third room, there's a table. On top is filled with alcohol. The blonde is about to walk up and take some, but the red-haired one quickly uses a gun to shoot and break all the bottles to stop him. Outside, they also receive reports. Irek's men are getting caught in traps all over the castle. It seems Khan has succeeded in exploiting the weaknesses of Irek's close associates that he extracted from the black-haired guy. Irek and his associates then run to the last room and get a bunch of lubricating oil poured on them by Khan. Khan then continuously taunts Irek. He also makes them fall into a trap and fall down below. Irek can't stand it anymore and demands Khan come out to fight properly. Khan also obliges him and comes out. Khan threatens if Irek dares take another step, they'll step on a trap and explode. Irek's associates show fear, while Irek just shows a crazy smile. Irek has had to endure many of Khan's dirty tricks, and he now has in hand the caliber sword. With just one strike, he blows away the princess and Khan, just like when he defeated the dragon. Witnessing that strike, they all believe Khan and the princess are dead. For Irek, his days of humiliation have now been washed clean. In the following days, Irek also sent troops to follow Sanglane and Mariandale to monitor them, but found nothing unusual. It seems the princess has truly passed away. That night, Sanglane and Mariandale went to a town to rent an inn. Following them were the blonde and red-haired guys tailing them. They even spent money to rent the room opposite their inn to monitor them. The reason they still have to investigate the princess's group is because normally Khan is very cunning, but in that final battle, he easily stood still and accepted death. So this is very suspicious. They think if Khan is still alive, he will definitely meet up with Mariandale and Sanglane again. The blonde catches the red-haired guy's real reason for coming here on this mission is just because there are many beautiful women here. He came here because he wanted to go to bars. The blonde was sent along to supervise the red-haired guy, ensuring he doesn't neglect the mission and sneak off to play. The second day of the intelligence mission, the red-haired one still only sees the two of them acting normal, no movement at all. The red-haired one keeps arguing with the blonde that he wants to go out and play, but the blonde won't let him. While they're arguing, Sanglane's side has new movement. The two of them are leaving the inn. They think Sanglane's side hasn't discovered they're being followed and are going to meet Khan, so they follow. While tailing, Sanglane and Mariandale suddenly split up going different directions, so the blonde takes on following Mariandale, while the red-haired one follows Sanglane. The red-haired one then discovers Sanglane is going to a cafe to meet someone. A moment later, a man appears. The red-haired one is shocked and speaks a bit loudly, getting noticed. He's curious about this man's identity, and when they started contacting each other, Sanglane then takes out some gold coins and a piece of paper and gives them to that man. Then they go their separate ways. The red-haired one then follows that man, going up into a forest. Due to the fog being too thick, he loses track of that man. But when following the direction that man went, before his eyes is a cemetery. That night, the red-haired one returns to base and hears that Sanglane and Mariandale have returned to the inn. He tells the blonde about Sanglane meeting a man. When learning the red-haired one lost track of that man, the blonde scolds him as useless. As for variation, his opponent Khan has now been defeated, so he has no more fighting spirit. They think Irek is also feeling lonely because Khan has been defeated, but he crawls into a tent and laughs like a madman. Day 3, they continue monitoring Sanglane and Mariandale. It seems he wants Mariandale to let him go have fun with girls, but she won't let him. So the whole day, Mariandale and Sanglane do nothing but stay at the inn, making the red-haired one want to go crazy. And so until night, Sanglane and Mariandale's side still has no movement. The red-haired one asks the blonde to keep watch here, while he goes out to investigate the man he lost track of yesterday. However, the red-haired one still has the same bad habits. He goes to a bar to drink with a young girl, claiming he's investigating. Not only can't investigate anything but gets drunk, even loses money to ask this girl's name. He then gets too drunk and falls asleep right at the bar. The next morning, the red-haired one returns to base to continue monitoring Mariandale and Sanglane's group, because he drank too much the day before. Today, the red-haired one is still hungover, wanting to vomit, so the blonde kicks him once and grounds him in the room today. The whole day, Sanglane's side still has no movement. At this point, the blonde has gone to buy food. He asks the red-haired one if there's any movement on the other side. Just as the red-haired one finishes speaking, he sees Mariandale going out, so he hastily runs after her. Mariandale enters a tavern. The red-haired one also follows and carefully checks. However, while waiting for Mariandale to act, he also has to drink along, but she keeps drinking without stopping, and the red-haired one is now completely drunk. He's been drinking like this for 2 days straight, so now he has to do something, or he'll collapse before Mariandale does. Out of options, he approaches Mariandale and says today he came here to drink, so he hopes she can put away her gun. Mariandale reveals she is lost and couldn't do anything to save Khan and the princess, so now she can only grit her teeth and watch people go. The reason Mariandale is here today is simply to drink away her sorrows. They also knew about the red-haired and blonde guys following, so doing that is pointless. Now Mariandale and Sanglane can only do what they can do. Before leaving, Mariandale also punches the red-haired one once, as revenge for killing her friends. The next day, the red-haired one returns and tells the blonde to leave here, since Khan hasn't appeared for several days, so monitoring is just useless. The blonde doubts Mariandale's words, but the red-haired one completely believes what she said. Suddenly, he recalls Mariandale's words at that time. They knew everything about being followed, so doing that is useless. They realize Mariandale and Sanglane have left the inn. The red-haired one leads the blonde running up the mountain where he lost track of that man, because very likely they'll meet Khan there again. But when they arrive, before the two of them are 2 coffins that have been buried by Mariandale and Sanglane. Witnessing the two of them like that, even the tears on Mariandale's cheeks make the two of them also believe Khan and the princess are dead. So after 5 days of investigation, the red-haired and blonde ones have decided to return to report the mission is over, while Sanglane and Mariandale continue on their journey, thinking everything ends here. But before Sanglane and Mariandale are Khan and the princess already waiting. Turns out they're still alive. Scene changes to a certain village. This blonde girl is Miranda. Her personality is a bit hyperactive. Just in the morning, she's already done greetings to this and that, then screams loudly, then runs to her parents. Her father is drinking tea and almost spills his cup when she runs over to kiss him. Her mother is eating cake and almost suffocates when she runs over to hug her. Miranda worries her hair tomorrow won't look good. She'll be laughed at by everyone. No one in this world suffers as much as her. Miranda just cries loudly like that. Her parents have to comfort her saying she's very cute, so she becomes happy again, running to hug her parents, making them almost suffocate. Today, Miranda decides to visit her grandmother, even though her parents tried to stop her thinking it's not a good idea. But Miranda won't listen. Her mother is about to say something, but her father stops her. When Miranda runs on the street, everyone runs into their houses and closes their doors, avoiding her. But it seems she doesn't know this and keeps running around happily. Khan at this moment is feeling great about his fake death plan. It turns out Khan used the mirror in the castle to reflect the image of him and the princess, successfully fooling Erek and his gang. Now Erek's group thinks Khan and the princess are dead, so they can move around more easily. But this success can't ignore the acting talents of Mariandale and Sanglain. The funeral the two of them held completely fooled those two subordinates. Suddenly, Khan feels stomach pain writhing, but he doesn't want to use the toilet. The princess thinks he ate something bad along the way, but he hasn't eaten anything since morning. Back to Miranda, she's now at her grandmother's house taking care of her. But she shoves a whole piece of bread into her grandmother's mouth, then runs off to mop the floor, leaving her grandmother struggling. Grandmother tries to reach for the cup of water on the table, but gets accidentally hit in the face by Miranda's broom handle and faints. Miranda then runs outside and accidentally bumps into Khan's group. She immediately gets struck by love at first sight and has a different view of Khan. Miranda starts dreaming about a romance. She thinks Khan and she were born for each other. Khan just has a stomachache, but she thinks he has a terminal illness and is about to die, and the two will have to part. So after that, Miranda decides to follow Khan. Since his stomach still isn't better, Khan has to go see a doctor. Miranda sees Khan come out, continues to paint a bunch of tragic scenarios in her head. Then she doesn't watch where she's going and chases after him, causing the carriage driver to fall flat on his face. Miranda makes up her own drama, as if the two of them have been in a long relationship. She believes one slap might wake Khan up, so she charges forward, punching Khan repeatedly in the face, calling him a coward, then just leaves, thinking Khan will understand and come find her. Khan then returns to the group and complains about being beaten by some girl, but they think surely he did something because there's no way that girl would just beat him out of nowhere. Looking at Khan's swollen face now looks very funny, but regardless, they should still take Khan to a doctor. Outside, Miranda is still hiding to watch if Khan has realized her love yet. However, this time Mariandale will go with Khan to ensure nothing happens. Just seeing her, Miranda immediately gets angry, thinking this woman dares steal her husband, and Khan is a lying playboy who betrayed her feelings. Miranda then takes a big sword intending to slash Khan. Luckily he dodges. She then accidentally loses balance and is caught by Khan, making her feelings bloom again. But earlier, while swinging the sword, Miranda accidentally slashed Mariandale's clothes, thinking she's trying to show off. So Miranda punches Khan once, then leaves again. Khan then gets to see the doctor for an examination. It seems he just has mild food poisoning, and his illness will get better in the next few days if he eats lightly. But the doctor says Khan's collarbone is broken and asks what happened. Khan recounts he was just minding his own business when a beautiful girl charged at him and attacked him. Why, he doesn't know. After leaving, Mariandale asks Khan if he really doesn't know what's happening, but if he knew, he would have known how to handle it. Miranda is still standing watching them, blaming herself for being hasty and attacking Khan. She thinks the reason Khan is being unfaithful is so she won't love Khan and stay away from him. But actually, he really loves her. After making up her own drama like that, Miranda runs out to the middle of the road and shouts loudly, but Khan doesn't hear. Thinking he's ignoring her, she charges forward, throwing bombs, then uses chains to tie up Khan's legs. Khan starts praying and saying goodbye to his game account and savings in the other world. But remembering the hot photos he saved on his computer might get leaked out. Khan can't die here yet. He tells Miranda he still has things to finish, so please wait a bit. Miranda thinks the thing Khan wants to finish is confessing to her, so she shyly turns away. He takes this opportunity to try to escape. Miranda waits forever without seeing Khan confess, turns back to see him running away. So she throws a knife, pinning it straight into Khan's heel to stop him from escaping, then makes him hurry up and confess. Khan doesn't understand what Miranda is saying. He uses all his knowledge about girls that he learned in anime to analyze what's wrong with this girl in front of him, and concludes this girl is in love with him. But Khan has no intention of loving Miranda, so she punches him in the stomach. Miranda then challenges Khan and the two go to the grass field to fight witnessed by Sanglane's group. If Khan wins, he can do whatever he wants and she won't refuse anything. After speaking, Miranda charges forward to start first. While fighting, she also thinks that she and Khan knew each other before, and they had a beautiful romance, yet Khan heartlessly forgot. The princess hears this and laughs, while Khan tries to explain he really just met this girl for the first time. Khan then gets beaten up by Miranda, unable to fight back, and gets defeated by her. Khan also kneels begging for mercy, while Miranda sees Khan is too weak to be worthy of being her boyfriend, so she gives up. Khan then gets to see a doctor and is bandaged all over his body. If he stays here any longer, he'll probably get assassinated, so they decide to leave this town to be safe. Meanwhile, Miranda has now switched her love interest from Khan to Sanglane. The next day, Khan's group plans to rent a boat to go to the next place. But the boat owner keeps raising the price, so Sanglane gets angry, saying never mind, and storms off. When they get back, Khan wonders why Sanglane didn't rent the whole boat. Could it be because he doesn't have enough money? But he says he has plenty of money. It's just that he doesn't like those guys always raising prices. The princess then suggests they continue walking. She also wants to go to Nanrapat to play and try the fried candied snack there. However, if they walk, it will be farther, and they'll need 3 more days to arrive. So Khan opposes because he needs to hurry and find a way home. But since it's only 3 extra days, it won't kill anyone, so they can have some fun before reaching the capital. They then prepare provisions for the trip. Khan has asked to split up to find a toilet. While passing through an alley, Khan runs into the red-haired subordinate of Arek, but he's drunk, so he thinks he's seeing things. Still hasn't found a toilet when suddenly Khan hears someone's voice talking and follows it. Arriving there, he discovers Pet is reporting to someone. It just hangs up the communicator and turns around to see Khan behind it. It tries to play dumb, but Khan has seen everything. So he runs over, picks it up, and shakes hard, making it dizzy and vomit right in his face. Khan is washing his face at the fountain when Variation and another guy walk by and see him, but they just think this is an illusion. Pet at this point also speaks human language and blames Khan for shaking so hard that it vomited. Khan then interrogates Pet about what its true identity is, but it thinks this kid can't do anything, so no way it'll confess. So Khan lets this squirrel experience medieval punishments, from drowning, then spinning in the air, whipping, using candles, wooden horse and muzzle. Just thinking about it is scary. This squirrel then gives Khan a tricky riddle and gives hints to help Khan solve it. After Khan solves the riddle, the answer is I am your father. The meaning of that is Pet is his father. Khan sees Pet making claims, so he starts listing a bunch of differences between the two of them. But Pet still argues, so he raises his foot about to kick it when he discovers this isn't its real body. Khan demands Pet prove it's his father, so Pet starts telling Khan a story. Long ago, when Khan was born, Pet and its wife were so happy, they threw a party to celebrate. However, it forgot to invite a witch to the party, so that witch was furious and cursed Khan. Pet admits it stood up to protect Khan, so after that it had to live in this form. But unfortunately, Khan doesn't believe it because this sounds like a fairy tale. Then Pet continues, when the prince grew up, he looked very much like a girl. One time playing ball outside, he accidentally dropped the ball into the pond. A talking frog suddenly appeared, offering to help him and wanting to be friends. That night, when the prince was about to sleep, the talking frog from earlier had crept over wanting to do some things, then the two would become husband and wife. Khan already knows the ending of that story, so he tells it all himself. Pet says it hasn't told stories in a long time, so its memory is a bit mixed up. Pet continues bragging it spent a lot of effort to find Khan, so Khan threatens if it keeps lying he'll grind it into tomato soup. Out of options, it has to tell the truth that Khan is the chosen one, and it's the one assigned to follow and watch over him and give him advice when needed, but he still doesn't believe what it says. Somewhere else, on the vast prairie, a female soldier under Iraq is lying reading a romance novel under a tree when Khan's cart passes by, but she thinks she's seen things. Khan at this point keeps telling everyone Pet can speak human language, but in front of everyone it pretends to be a normal squirrel that doesn't understand anything, so they don't believe him, thinking he's sick, thinking they should get to the capital as soon as possible. The squirrel, knowing everyone is on its side, also joins in to tease Khan. He knows he can't win against this squirrel, so he proactively surrenders. He decides to get back at this squirrel, so after that, Khan admits he was hallucinating seeing Pet speak and dance, but then he says Pet is so cute its babies must be cute too. Khan then presses Pet's face against the window and gives it a choice of mate, either sheep or cat. so it has to speak human language, telling him it wants a mate that looks like itself. Khan decides to mess with this squirrel to the end, so he tells everyone Pet wants a hairless, slightly older female rat, then takes out exactly such a rat. Pet then can't take it anymore and runs onto the princess's head. But Khan says if during mating season it doesn't have a mate, then Pet will get sick. To help Pet live longer, Khan suggests they should neuter it. Saying that, Khan takes his sword to Pet's face, scaring it into running away screaming for mercy. Princess Piria at this point also realizes it seems Pet has been speaking human language. But to get revenge for earlier, Khan says he didn't hear anything, then continues pointing his sword at Pet and shouts, "You will be neutered." Right at this moment, a wreck riding by on his horse sees this scene and is startled, thinking Khan is still alive. So he quickly covers that spot with his hand and pretends to not know anything. Not long after, Khan's group has arrived at the castle of the Piria Empire. This castle looks a bit small, but it can move on its own based on Alma technology applications. This capital is very vast, so if they walk from here to the palace, it will take a very long time, so they'll travel this way instead. Now they just need to stay overnight at this castle, and tomorrow morning they'll reach the palace. Meanwhile, the current king of the Piria Empire has met and discussed with the foreign minister of the neighboring kingdom, who is also the fiancé of the 36th princess. Today the minister came here to discuss the marriage. He heard about the princess being assassinated, but His Majesty doesn't believe the princess is dead because she has great fortune, and also says currently the princess has arrived at the capital and is on her way here. The foreign minister then orders his subordinates to investigate the princess's situation, and will punish the rebels if they discover she's still alive. Khan's group then arrives at the capital, and they will have to travel by this castle a bit longer to meet the king. However, they'll be taken up by cable car and elevator, so this process won't take much time. Just arriving at the palace, Khan's group is stared at by a bunch of old men standing in rows. All of them are relatives of the emperor, and everyone is eyeing the princess to seize the throne. The princess then goes to meet the king. Sure enough, this king has memory problems as he keeps remembering and forgetting. If not for the attendant beside him reminding him, he probably couldn't remember anything. Today the princess came here for an audience about marrying her fiancé. While talking, he asks about breakfast again. Truly has mental issues. Then they give the princess something that looks very much like a crown, seems to be used for the wedding. As for Khan, the princess has told the king about Khan falling from the sky, and asks him how to send him back to the Sky City. And he instructs her to go meet the astrologer. Currently, he's at the Western Tower. Additionally, this king says he sees some destiny of Khan's, but before he can say it, he poops his pants and is taken away by attendants. Khan asks after him, but the princess stops him. His task now is to go find that astrologer. Khan then enters the rest room with the princess's group. They inform him now the princess will have to depart to her fiancé's place to hold the wedding. So Khan will have to find his way to meet that astrologer alone. But there are many towers in the west, and they also don't know which specific tower Khan needs to go to. Khan then asks them for a map to go by himself. Khan says if he finds a way home, he'll come back to say goodbye then go home. The princess's group, though very sad, can't trouble Khan anymore. Not knowing the way, Khan quickly gets lost in a place just like a maze. He calls each person Sanglane, Mariandale, and the princess for help, but of course they're not here. In desperation, Khan accidentally sees Pet again, secretly using a communicator to talk to someone. Pet says this is the Dark Zone, a place for the underworld to do business, so it's just making calls to find customers to make a living, and asks why Khan is here. Khan admits he's lost. He apologizes to Pet for treating it badly in the past, but currently he really needs its help, and it agrees. Khan then follows Pet's instructions, crawling from place to place. While they're crawling through a tunnel in a tower, they discover there's an illegal organization operating here. Pet throws Khan a mask, telling him to put it on to avoid being discovered. However, even though only peeking through a crack, Khan and Pet are still discovered by the leader of the rebel group there. He then tells Khan about their identity and plans, and uses the excuse that Khan now knows their secret to eliminate him. Khan then runs away, only to discover another rebel organization. The leader here has a special love for cute animals. He then also discovers Khan and Pet, then also tells them about his identity and the organization's secrets, then again uses the excuse that Khan knows all the secrets to eliminate him. Khan doesn't understand what's happening. He continues fleeing to another place, only to encounter yet another rebel organization in this tower. This gang is of transgender people, demanding gender equality for men. The script is the same again. Khan gets discovered by the leader, gets told identities and secrets. Then they demand to eliminate him. Khan then manages to get outside the tower. Here the 3 leaders of the 3 organizations he accidentally encountered have all gathered. Those 3 fight chaotically to compete for control of this tower. Khan also takes this opportunity to escape. More and more leaders of various organizations join in, creating a great war between factions. After running until out of breath, Khan finally arrives at that astrologer's tower. Khan meets that astrologer and asks him how to get to the Sky City, but he says he doesn't know. Suddenly a woman's voice sounds, telling Khan to go to the princess's fiancé's house. There will be a way to lead him home. Khan asks her more about that, but she doesn't answer. Frustrated, Khan charges forward, but when opening the curtain, that woman's figure has disappeared. However, when looking up at the sky, he actually sees the shadow of the Sky City is there. So the next morning, Khan returns to the palace to meet the princess. The princess, seeing Khan, thinks he came back to say goodbye, but he says he also wants to go to her fiancé's castle, so he wants to ask to go along with everyone. Both Sanglain and Mariandale have also gathered completely. Additionally, today, there's one more person sent to escort everyone. And looking at these 3 people, they seem familiar, and who they are we all know. And after that, Khan's whole group is picked up by the princess's fiancé's hot air balloon. The rebel organization has now also heard news that Khan and the princess are still alive. They can no longer believe in Irek's abilities and must start acting by attacking from multiple sides in all areas. And now they have prepared very thoroughly for this plan. At Irek's camp, he has now also learned Khan is still alive, so orders the troops to assemble for revenge for that deception. Although Irek's honor has been tarnished, if he can complete this mission, his honor will be restored. He has heard that currently Khan and the princess's group are on their way to the capital, so he orders the troops to depart there. On the hot air balloon, Khan is sitting pensively looking out the window. Although it's true, Khan just needs to wait until the capital, and their adventure will end. But Khan feels very worried for the princess because clearly she doesn't want this marriage. However, Sanglain says their mission is only to escort the princess there safely, so don't do anything useless. Khan asks where the princess currently is and is told she's learning ceremonies to prepare for the wedding in Mariandale's room. And meanwhile, that Variation has successfully infiltrated here by capturing an employee on board. Irek has been banned from all activities, so had to stay home. But Variation can't stand sitting still, so came here himself. In the room, the princess at this point has to sit listening to Mariandale praise that minister so much she gets annoyed. She feels depressed because everyone acts the same. As for Variation, he has now found Khan's room. He's surprised because Khan is still alive and doing childish things, looking like an idiot. Specifically sitting bouncing on the bed while only wearing shorts, then going to the window to grope something, looking very perverted. Not done yet, he even sits on the window, then relieves himself down below. Variation, seeing this, can't stand it anymore and rushes in to stop him. He doesn't forget to wear a mask to avoid being exposed. Khan then asks him about the princess's fiancé, but he says he's never met him, so doesn't know. Khan really wants to intervene in the princess's marriage because he feels worried for her, since clearly this is a forced marriage. Khan then realizes this blue-haired guy looks familiar. In a careless moment, he gets shot by him in the chest and collapses. The minister is sitting drinking tea in his room when a subordinate comes to report an intruder on the hot air balloon. When learning it's someone from Irek's group coming to assassinate the princess, he orders them to turn a blind eye. Variation then continues to find the rooms of the remaining members and catches Sanglain playing with imaginary cats in his room. He finds this behavior rather improper, so also rushes into Sanglain's room. And of course doesn't forget to wear a mask to avoid exposing his identity. Sanglain then also asks this blue-haired guy about the foreign minister, because as a bodyguard protecting the princess, he also feels very worried for her having to accept this wedding. But he also doesn't know since he hasn't met him either. Sanglain then also feels this guy looks familiar, like he's seen him somewhere before, and also gets shot by him and collapses. Variation then meets Mariandale in the hallway and calls her over to talk. She then says a bunch of things he can't understand, then also finds this guy looks familiar. And then the ending is the same as the other two, getting shot by him and collapsing on the spot. Even Pet doesn't escape this fate. After taking down 4 targets, Variation calmly walks into the princess's room. The princess also knows well he came here to take her life, so isn't surprised at all. Variation introduces himself as someone who likes torture, then pulls out a gun. He also reveals he has already taken down all her bodyguards. Variation after meeting the princess has to admit she's very stubborn, also noble to the point of being willing to sacrifice herself for humanity. But she feels annoyed and threatens to deal with him. Khan at this point has also woken up. Turns out earlier he had secretly hidden a bunch of adult magazines in his clothes, and they saved his life. Khan then runs to Sanglane's room, and he has also woken up. The bullet also didn't hit him, but was blocked by the gold coin on his chest. Mariandale also survives thanks to the iron breast padding, and Pet also survives thanks to the metal it hid under its clothes. They then run to the princess's room and find the door locked. They break down the door and rush in to see the princess lying unconscious on the bed. Everyone thinks she's dead, but turns out she's just sleeping. The reason the princess is still alive no one knows, but perhaps because Variation has read some cheap novels and learned from them then left. Earlier, the princess had told him if compared to the happiness of all the people her happiness is nothing. If she can exchange her happiness for everyone's happiness, then it's too cheap a price. Moreover, even if she gets killed by him here it doesn't matter because besides her, there are still many people who can replace her. So there's no problem. Variation then also gives up because he's someone who likes torture. But the princess is too willing to die so he doesn't feel like killing her yet. He'll let her live but will come back someday. Flying all day in the sky, they've finally seen the fiancé's castle. And for Khan his journey is also about to end. However, from now until the wedding is held there's still about 1 month left. And from now until then the princess will continue to order Khan around so he doesn't need to worry. Khan's group then arrives at the foreign minister's castle and is greeted by his head butler. From now until the wedding is held, he will take care of their health. Khan only cares about meeting that minister, but the butler informs him that until they finish learning the 18 etiquettes he can meet the minister. That's the tradition for generations. The butler then arranges a room for them to stay in during this time. If they need anything just say so. Khan asks him about how to get to the Sky City, but he doesn't know. But there's a place here that specializes in researching the Sky City. As for where it is, that's a secret that cannot be told. Khan gets frustrated and decides to wander around to find that place himself. But Pet says no need because it has contacted someone to buy information about the location of that research. Pet then leads Khan to the gate of the research institute, but to enter here requires a permit. But Khan doesn't walk in, he crawls in. Once inside, Khan meets a receptionist. She asks what he needs, and he says he's a Hyperion, and he's looking for a way to get to the Sky City to find a way back home. The receptionist, hearing him say that, immediately changes her expression and presses the alarm button under the desk. Just a few seconds later, a bunch of soldiers with guns come running to surround him and throw him into the dungeon. Behind the wall, a voice asks him what he has to prove himself as a Hyperion. He's willing to provide information about the Sky City if Khan can show him he's a Hyperion. Khan then also shows him magic by drawing his sword, then transforming it into a hammer shape, along with the information that he fell from the sky. That person believes him and pulls up the curtain. But behind the curtain is a young kid looking very young, making Khan feel like he's being tricked and keeps calling for an adult to talk to. But after hearing the kid say a bunch of theories that Khan probably doesn't understand, he truly believes this kid is the director of this research institute. Khan continues asking the kid about the Sky City, thinking since the kid is researching it, he must know something. But first, the kid wants to examine Khan's body. Khan is forced to strip and have a bunch of patches and clips attached to his body, looking like he's getting a medical checkup. Then 2 girls walk in and keep taking care of Khan, making his heart rate spike. For test number 2, Khan is dropped into a swimming pool, and 2 girls come again, but this time wearing swimsuits. Those 2 girls tie Khan's hands to weights, then push him into the water to drown him. After 2 tests, the kid realizes that Hyperions are just like normal people, can still die normally. That kid plans to continue experimenting on Khan, but Khan refuses, saying he has already let himself be experimented on, so now he must answer his questions. The kid finds this reasonable, so agrees to let Khan ask 2 questions. The first question Khan asks is how he can get to the Sky City, but that kid doesn't know. And the hot air balloon outside isn't capable of taking him to the Sky City. After 2 questions, Khan still hasn't learned any new information, so he's very frustrated. On the princess's side, she's looking into the distance and wondering when Khan can return to his world. On this side, Khan continues being used for experiments by that kid. Khan is forced to run around a stadium, even being chased by a monster beast. Truly, when being chased by dogs, running speed increases unimaginably. Khan then gets strapped to a spinning table and spun like a pinwheel, dropped from a cliff into water, put into a cannon and fired hundreds of meters away, and tortured with perverted methods that if not censored would violate community standards. After finishing the level 2 tests, Khan is allowed to rest a bit and is allowed to ask 4 more questions. Khan has now learned from experience. First, he makes that kid tell everything he knows about the Sky City. The kid takes out a photo to show Khan. It seems Khan is quite lucky to have seen it twice with his own eyes, but they only know about its shape and don't have an orbital map of the Sky City, so they can't know where it flies and when. Each place has different records about this city, so they can't know which information is accurate. But to fly in the sky, it must use a lot of magic energy, so certainly that place was created by humans, not gods. The next few questions, Khan gets tricked by the kid into asking irrelevant things, so again doesn't learn any new information. After that, Khan continues being used for experiments, this time to test intelligence and see what kind of thoughts he has. The experiment ends, and this time Khan gets to ask 2 questions. He has also started asking sharper questions. Khan asks that kid if there are any secrets about the Sky City that he can't tell Khan. Khan learns that in the past someone created a secret passage connecting the ground to the Sky City, but where it is now no one knows, so this kid knows everything about the Sky City, except how to get there. Khan then has nothing more to ask, so is about to stand up and leave. That kid runs after him and uses the eyes of a pitiful little brother to beg Khan to stay. While Khan is hesitating, he gets handcuffed by those 2 girls and tied to an operating table. The kid believes a Hyperion has the ability to absorb magic power into the body and release it at will, so there must be some special organ inside that normal experiments can't identify. This era doesn't have X-ray or MRI machines, so certainly he can only lie still waiting to be dissected. Just as they're about to act, Pet cuts the power and comes to rescue him. The way out is surrounded by soldiers, so Khan takes out his hammer and smashes through the research institute wall, then runs outside. Despite the kid using pitiful eyes again, this time Khan is no longer fooled. Scene changes to Irek's camp. The black-haired close associate of Irek is tying himself upside down to self-reflect about his commander being suspended from duty. The red-haired one self-reflects by reading adult magazines, but not being allowed to go out to play, and the blonde self-reflects by eating chili instead of drinking alcohol. Irek at this point is also bored of sitting around, so decides to act. He will track down Khan's whereabouts and infiltrate the minister's territory. Khan at this point has to follow the princess to attend lessons about the 18 marriage ceremonies. Khan stands listening until fed up with these ceremonies, but when it comes to the last one, he hears the name of the Sky City, immediately rushes forward to ask the butler what it is, but he says wait until they learn it to know. Khan doesn't understand why he has to learn together, only to find out the 18 ceremonies need servants' help to be done. First is chopping wood. The princess just needs to lightly touch the axe to the tree trunk, while chopping it down is Sanglane's job. Mariandale's part is trimming the trunk, and Khan will handle transporting that trunk and gets floated down the waterfall on that log, unable to do anything. Khan gets swept down the waterfall for so long before finally climbing ashore. He wonders if this is the princess's marriage ceremony, then she should be the one doing it. So why does an unrelated person like him have to do this, and even almost drowned? Pet teases that Khan's angry face looks very funny, so he grabs its neck, threatening to hit it. The butler explains that Khan has to do these things because this is a ceremony. Ceremonies are part of tradition. Traditions are things that have existed for hundreds of years, so no matter how difficult or unreasonable, they must be done. And if Khan asks why, then because this is a ceremony. After that, other ceremonies continue normally. Currently, Khan is building a path made entirely of dominoes, because the belief is that the longer this path, the longer lasting the princess's happiness. By the way, the ceremonies after the wood transport ceremony, first Khan has to sculpt a pair of swans to symbolize eternal love. Though complaining constantly, somehow he still manages to carve them. Although Khan really wants to leave, Mariandale pulls out a gun, threatening if he talks back he'll have to die. Khan then also has to dance with the princess beside the campfire, only to wake up the next morning with his head pounding, lying on the ground. Sanglane's group then has to go collect the ashes from the fire, for Khan to use them to draw a painting as requested. Khan doesn't bother arguing with them anymore, then also manages to draw the painting as requested. Khan now has dark circles under his eyes and starts rambling about the philosophies he has realized. But while talking, Sanglane and Mariandale have gone to sweep away the painting he spent effort drawing. Back to the domino path. Each piece he places is a test of patience. Until finally, Khan can't take it anymore and runs far away, then shouts loudly to vent. Suddenly, Mary Andale appears behind him and says Khan must place a total of over 4 million pieces to complete the task. Over 4 million pieces is a huge number, but it also proves a wonderful love between the boy and girl. Mary Andale admits she's a bit jealous of the princess, because perhaps she'll never experience the feeling of having a wedding in her life. Although she really wants to find her other half, and is loved by both men and women, Mary Andale seems to be held back by something, so still can't fulfill that dream. Khan at this point also kneels begging for mercy. In the distance, Erek's group is standing watching Khan's group, and wondering whether Khan's group knows they're being watched or not. They may not know, or may already know, but pretend not to know to lure Erek into acting first, because during recent ceremonies, Erek's group has been present to sabotage him. In the first ceremony, when Khan was surfing on the log, they hid behind bushes to observe. The red-haired one suggests distracting Khan so he falls off the log, by having some naked girls stand in the way. The red-haired one's plan sounds reasonable, but currently there are only 5 dudes here and no girls. So these guys strip naked themselves, then line up waiting for Khan to come. But Khan goes by too fast to even notice his surroundings, so their plan fails. For the swan sculpting ceremony, the black-haired one suggests they all dress up as swan cosplay for Khan to see to make him carve wrong. For the campfire dancing part, Erek's soldiers sit behind the fire waiting for the right moment to act, but they get distracted talking so completely forget the task at hand. For the ash painting part, this Erek seems to have OCD, so when seeing Khan draw wrong, he can't hold back anymore and goes over to fix it for him. Khan also recognizes Erek, but he lets him do it. The two then even shake hands and promise to meet again to fight each other later. And when Erek returns to boast about his achievement, all 4 of them don't understand what he accomplished. For the domino ceremony, Erek's group again plans to sabotage Khan by buying all the dominoes on the market. But when they go to the market to ask about prices, they're shocked because domino prices are now being pushed very high, because that foreign minister has ordered all the dominoes on the market, so now there's a shortage. Meanwhile, Erek's subordinates dig in their pockets and only have a few coins, and Erek isn't much better because currently he's had his funding cut by superiors. At this rate, they won't be able to stop the princess's wedding. Suddenly, a shady merchant comes claiming to be a mysterious domino dealer. But Variation is afraid this old man will also jack up prices, so stands there haggling. Right at this moment, Mary Andale and Khan come and compete for this merchant with Erek. Khan quickly stops them because pulling like that is pitiful for this old man. Khan then sets a rule: whoever can prove they have a more justified reason to buy dominoes will have the right to buy, and the way to prove it is to pull that old man hard toward themselves. Erek and Mary Andale then slip and lose balance, then crash into each other, rolling several times. Their hands accidentally grab each other's private parts, and are startled to find one is a femboy and the other is a eunuch. Neither of them expected that thanks to this accident many things would happen in the future. Not long after, they've arrived at the 14th ceremony. This ceremony is the princess dropping eye drops from above into Khan's eyes, while being cheered on by thousands of subjects. After the ceremony is completed, the whole group happily walks down the street. But for some reason the princess looks unhappy. Khan keeps rambling and complaining why they have to keep doing these ceremonies. Suddenly, the first hair tuft on the princess's head stands up, making the whole group very scared. Khan is about to say something, but Sanglain covers his mouth to stop him. He tells Mary Andale to take the princess somewhere to play and relax. They then go to a karaoke bar as the princess wishes. Khan is shocked because he didn't expect this world to be so well equipped. But he was wrong to think this black box is a TV, because inside is a whole band playing instruments. Suddenly, the princess looks at the food menu and the second hair tuft on her head is about to grow. Sanglain quickly tells Mary Andale to go order food for the princess. Mary Andale at first keeps her girl voice, but after the princess wants ginger tea, she can't keep calm and shouts into the walkie-talkie in a man's voice. After the princess drinks a sip of ginger tea, she continues looking at the menu, so Mary Andale panics and runs to order another pile of food for the princess. But this time she wants a whole tuna head, making Mary Andale frantically urge the receptionist to bring the food up. After the second round of food is brought up, the princess doesn't eat yet, but opens the song album to choose a song. Khan thinks the princess wants to sing, so invites her to sing first. Sanglain, seeing this, immediately stops Khan. Mary Andale quickly grabs the microphone to sing first. Sanglane tells Khan not to let the princess sing in this condition, because before the princess once went to karaoke in this condition. The result was she sang the same song repeatedly for 72 hours. Not only was her singing bad, but she also got the lyrics wrong. No one dared to leave, 17 people fainted, 64 people had to be taken to the emergency room. The auditorium collapsed and took over 2 months to rebuild. Khan realizes this place doesn't seem like a stress-relieving place like a normal karaoke bar, but is very tense. Just as Mariandale is about to sing, the princess immediately turns it off, saying she doesn't like this song, quickly choose another one. So Mariandale switches to singing a song about her undetermined gender. She keeps switching voices back and forth between male and female. Khan realizes everyone here has to sing songs they don't want to sing, despite being mocked and having their weaknesses exposed, all just to soothe this princess who is going through puberty. Khan then also understands this invisible pressure and accepts sitting there listening to them sing. Pet suggests Khan will sing next, so he throws the whole microphone at its face. Khan quickly turns to explain to the princess that he can't read the language of this world and doesn't know any songs, but in return he'll take on livening up the atmosphere here. The princess also understands Khan and apologizes to him. But now, who will be the next to sing? The princess's gaze shifts to Sanglane. He doesn't want to, but to preserve his life. He grabs a bottle of alcohol and chugs it. With alcohol comes words. Sanglane takes the microphone and sings a song about cute cats, making everyone freeze. Although Khan escaped the first 2 turns, after Sanglane finishes singing he's not sure. In desperation, Khan sees Mariandale signaling something to him. He looks in the direction she's pointing and understands she means for him to hold maracas and shake them. Khan and Mariandale stand enthusiastically cheering for Sanglane to sing. In the next room, Irek's group is also doing karaoke to relieve stress, when they hear loud noises from the next room. The red-haired one is about to go scold them, but the black-haired one stops him because today they came here to encourage Irek not to cause trouble. The blonde keeps flirting with Irek, so Variation puts a knife to his neck. Irek is about to stand up to sing a song, but before he can grab the microphone, Variation takes it. In the other room, Sanglane has also finished shouting. Suddenly, the princess discovers karaoke here also has a scoring machine, so she gives the microphone to Pet and makes it sing. Pet wants to refuse, but is afraid to die, so reluctantly sings. The current score is 80 points. If it sings lower than that score, the princess will throw it into the soup pot immediately. Pet gets so scared it faints, which means a death sentence. The princess signals Mariandale to order a soup pot to bring in. Although the receptionist says that's forbidden, Mariandale doesn't care, shouting into the walkie-talkie to make them bring it up. Khan, although hates Pet, but witnessing this wants to do something to help it. Sanglane stops him because if he makes a sound the noise will get picked up and the score will be marked low. So now the best thing is to sit still and pray for Pet to survive. Surprisingly, Pet sings quite well. Seems like necessity is the mother of invention. But there's a problem because singing so passionately, Pet accidentally blurts out catchphrases not in the lyrics, which will be counted as wrong lyrics and marked down. After Pet finishes singing, it feels confident thinking it just sang very well. However, everyone is offering condolences and preparing ingredients for the soup pot. The princess demands to see how many points Pet got. If it's 80, then it can live. The machine starts counting points. The number flashes at 80, then stops at 70. Because the light up there is also red, Sanglane throws a piece of meat on it. The princess's eyes can't see clearly. Khan quickly runs to cover the scoring machine. At this point, the slice of tuna is about to fall, so Mariandale takes out her gun and shoots the karaoke machine, successfully saving Pet's life. Irek's group at this point is all completely drunk and can't tell anything apart. Irek then goes to the bathroom and shouts loudly that he also wants to sing. Khan passes by and hears, but turns a blind eye. Irek really wants to sing a song, but the remote keeps getting grabbed back and forth by his underlings, so he has to give up. As for Khan, he is about to open the room door, but when seeing their shadows through the window, he realizes he's not stupid enough to go into this hell, so he plans to leave first. If asked, just say he got lost. But just as Khan thinks about escaping from hell to return to warm blankets and soft beds, hell pulls him back. The whole group then has to sit listening to the princess sing the same song continuously until the next morning. As for Irek, his underlings have finally fallen asleep. Just as he picks up the remote to sing a song, the receptionist announces this place is closed. The princess's mood has also become happy again, and the hair tuft on her head has also gone down. Before long, they've arrived at the final ceremony to be done. It's called the Ovidius ceremony, but is actually rhino fighting. After the headbutting greeting, the bride and groom also step down from the car in extremely beautiful wedding attire. But one hair tuft on the princess's head stands up for some reason. Mariandale cries heavily because the princess looks very beautiful, and Khan also has to admit that fiancé looks very handsome. Khan feels a bit disappointed because he thought he would learn something about how to get to the sky. But turns out this ceremony is just the name. Irek's group at this point also realizes they've failed to stop the wedding from happening. Irek can't understand why the rebel organization suspended them, letting this wedding proceed more smoothly. Variation notices something is wrong, so volunteers to investigate. The red-haired one, seeing this, also wants to tag along, but the blonde stops him, fearing he'll go fooling around again. But Irek says just let him go because now he doesn't care about anything anymore. Irek then also goes down into the crowd himself to find Khan, making the blonde have to chase after to stop him. That night, when Khan's group is in the room, the princess comes to say goodbye to them, also thanking everyone for being by her side and protecting her during this time. Mariandale says the princess can say she doesn't like this marriage, and surely Khan will rescue her from here. But the princess says no need. The princess then leaves and goes to the minister's room, and he shows her his stuffed animal collection. All very cute and adorable creatures, and it seems this minister still has quite a childish personality when he uses a puppet to talk to the princess in a child's voice rather than his real voice. The minister then tells the princess to change into very cute outfits and decides to choose the lizard outfit. As for Khan, at this point he can't stop bouncing his leg because he's worried about the princess. But Sanglain says worrying is useless and advises him to go sleep. But he can't sleep because he's afraid that Minister is a pervert and will do something to the princess. Mariandale tells Khan that's the princess's choice and she has accepted, so please don't meddle in other people's affairs. As for the princess, that minister still wants to find ways to make the princess happy. But she tells him to read prime numbers, making him so deflated he gets sleepy. Khan at this point can't stop thinking about dark things, so he punches himself in the face, then bangs his head against the wall to stop thinking nonsense. The princess and her husband at this point are in bed. He's about to do something, but right at that moment, 3 hair tufts on the princess's head all stand up at once, so that whole room is destroyed. Khan hears the princess's voice and quickly runs over to see that minister lying face down with his butt in the air begging for his life. The soldiers then also run over and think Khan is trying to assassinate him. So Sanglain and Mariandale have to charge in to clear a path for Khan and the princess to escape. By the river, Irek is sitting alone, feeling sorry for himself, reflecting on his life, about the things he's doing, when Khan's group comes and says this place is yours, then runs away. Before Irek can understand what's happening, a rain of arrows is fired at him. Luckily, he manages to hide behind a tree. He then also reunites with the black-haired and blonde ones. When learning these two were eavesdropping on his private thoughts, Irek embarrassedly blushes angrily and charges out to fight those soldiers to vent. The soldiers think Irek is an accomplice of the one who assassinated the minister. Now Irek realizes he's been set up by Khan. Khan's group has run to a flower field. They then ask the princess why she hit the minister. They also list a bunch of reasons, but all wrong. The final reason is because one of his nose hairs was sticking out and kept wiggling, making her very annoyed, so she punched him. Turns out she's still just an innocent young girl. Khan has to self-reflect about his dark thoughts. The minister decides to take revenge, while Irek and his men run for their lives, cursing Khan while running. The rebel army at this point is very pleased because the plan to damage the relationship between the princess and that minister has succeeded. Now a war will break out and threaten world peace. Variation at this point has been discovered by some guards. He tries to run but gets knocked down by 4 Olbrians, which are Hyperion robots created by the Rebel Council. Suddenly a pink portal opens and Variation is teleported away. Irek's group at this point is also exhausted and has to hide up in a tree. Guard dogs have sniffed them out and found the group's hiding spot. But Irek's group is also teleported away by that portal. As for Khan's group, Pet at this point has also received news and tells the group not to be shocked but to prepare themselves. And then the whole group is also teleported away. Khan wakes up to find himself back in his room in his world. Suddenly, on the screen appears the girl named Flora he met at the beginning. That girl once again helps Khan and promises to reward him generously if he agrees. Khan remembers what happened after that and then wakes up. He has met Flora, and immediately his eyes light up. Flora says she called Khan here to ask him to help save this world, because there's a man plotting to sink the whole world by causing war between empires. Khan then asks that girl how she can summon Khan here, and she says using an ancient secret technique. As for her name, she asks permission to keep it secret. Flora also adds, if Khan doesn't want to help, she won't force him, because this might make him face death. Khan can also go home if he wants. He's very excited because he can return home. But when remembering he's already overcome countless difficulties and going home empty-handed would be lame. Moreover, being asked by such a beautiful girl is hard to refuse. She even promises to fulfill one of his wishes if he returns alive. Pet at this point also appears. It admits it was sent by this girl to closely follow their group. Irek's group at this point has also woken up. The red-haired one confesses earlier he went into a bar while on the mission, so he gets scolded by the whole group. A path then opens, and Irek's group decides to follow that path. Both Sanglain and Mariandale are also on their way. All those paths lead them to the room where Flora is sitting. Irek also recognizes her and runs over calling her name, but Flora says this name isn't her real name, but just an alias. Khan's group then also gathers completely and encounters Irek's group, so they're about to start fighting. Flora then tells them about Ikshan. That's the name of a self-proclaimed tribe from ancient times. They could freely control Alma energy, then built their own nation. But after just one battle, everything vanished. And now, someone is planning to cause war again. However, he doesn't act directly but secretly creates conflict between two opposing sides. The princess is the one entrusted with building peaceful relations but has failed. Variation has also heard things in the organization. They thoroughly investigated the princess's personality, then trapped her with the nose hair. Irek hearing this can't believe it because all this time he thought his organization was fighting for justice. To prevent that from happening, Flora has summoned someone from another world and given another person in this world the power of a Hyperion. That's Irek and Khan. She wants to do this so the two sides balance their power. However, now things are about to be exposed, so she has summoned everyone here and given all of them the power of a Hyperion to stop this war. They're still arguing about why the other side gets to be Hyperion, when Flora says since they were transferred here, everyone has become a Hyperion. Flora has used special power to turn all of them into Hyperions, and now anyone can use magic energy. To use magic energy, they need to use specialized weapons, and Flora has also prepared for them. They can go down there and choose the weapon that suits them. Khan, after hearing this lady's persuasion, has also decided to stay here to fight. Down in the basement, they're very surprised because Alma weapons are placed in colorful balls and stuffed inside a giant machine. Specifically a gacha machine, but people in this world don't know that. They then compete using force to try to unlock it, but all fail. Irek is still sitting stunned after learning he was originally chosen to be a Hyperion warrior just because he had slightly better qualities than others. Khan sits pondering his choice. If he returns, he'll live but always be a virgin. But if he stays, he'll have to face death. He now regrets that he didn't properly learn martial arts and swordsmanship before. Even the princess, using both Hyperion magic power plus all 3 hair tufts standing up, can't budge the lock. Khan quickly runs over and tells them to insert money into the slot, then turn the lever. The princess's group then tries inserting money and admits it actually works. They've spent a lot of money to choose the weapons they like, and the leftover weapons are left for Irek's group to freely choose. The pink portal then opens again and Irek's group is sent back to their original position before coming here. Variation has something to say to Irek, but before he can say it, he's teleported away. Irek is now uncertain which side to fight for. Khan then also has found his own answer. He goes to Flora and says he'll stay here, so please turn him into a man. But Khan didn't expect the one helping him would be Sanglain, so he doesn't look too happy. Flora then also teleports the whole group back to their original position, also reminding them if they need help just have Pet contact her. Before being teleported away, Khan asks Flora about how to get to the Sky City, and learns that currently that city no longer exists and has been sunk deep into the sea. The princess's whole group is then teleported back to the forest. The group doesn't seem to believe Flora much, but Khan stands up and guarantees because with breasts this big, she's definitely a good person. Variation at this point is investigating at an abandoned factory when a mysterious man approaches him. That man claims he came here under Irek's orders to bring Variation back to base. Now they will leave the rebel organization's territory to go to the base where Irek is waiting. Variation recalls the time before Irek's group was formed. It was one evening, there were two thugs fighting when a black-haired man wearing glasses came to intervene, then also knocked down both of them. The red-haired guy then steps out from the alley and invites that man to go eat noodles to talk. The red-haired one says currently this city is full of criminals everywhere. Ever since the magic energy revolution, all the world's standards have changed. Along with continuous modernization, people's lives have improved. But greed remains unchanged, so it has dragged this city down. Criminals are becoming more sophisticated, and the number of criminals keeps increasing. The red-haired one is currently working for an organization that specializes in catching criminals. This organization is currently looking to recruit more people, and this man is an extremely promising candidate. The red-haired one promises to keep his baldness a secret, so he doesn't need to worry. The next day, that man follows the red-haired one to the headquarters to apply for a job. Everyone here looks quite friendly. Irek then introduces himself and says although their organization is currently small, he will try to develop it into the largest in the world. Everyone here has nicknames, so Irek decides to nickname that man Baldy, making everyone burst out laughing. He scolds the red-haired one because he promised to keep this secret. Right at this moment, Irek receives a phone call, reporting a hostage situation. They then go to the scene with the police. This robber is very dangerous because he's armed with weapons. Irek is assigning tasks to subordinates, but when he turns to that man, he's already run off somewhere. A moment later, that man walks out of the warehouse leading the criminal while everyone doesn't understand what happened. And from then on, he has helped Irek's group solve many cases and earned everyone's trust. However, actually this man is a spy, planted to gain everyone's trust, then monitor them and report back to his master. The next day, while sitting in the car, the black-haired one asks that man if he's free during the upcoming vacation, because the black-haired one will be having a wedding and wants to introduce his friend to her. That man, when hearing the word friends, is quite shocked and promises to definitely come. Back at the office, Irek has just received a phone call announcing they've been sponsored by an organization, and that organization is none other than the current rebel organization. Everyone then gets very excited and makes plans to go drinking that night. Only that man nicknamed Baldy looks visibly unhappy. That night, Baldy is given an additional mission to assassinate boss Irek within a week. When returning home, Baldy discovers there's a cat in the house and gives it milk to drink. He then sits thinking whether he should continue being a professional thug or throw everything away to live a new life. The next day, Irek's group receives a crime report call. There's a robbery at Piria Bank, and this robber has weapons. This mission Irek will also participate with them. The whole group monitors the robbers from a building across the street. Irek brings out the building blueprint. According to a released hostage, the remaining hostages are being held in a room on the first floor. After dividing tasks, everyone is in position. The blonde takes the sniper position. Irek and Baldy rappel down to the second floor. And then there's a chaotic battle scene with the police having the upper hand. But somehow all the supporting characters keep missing their shots. Truly only happens in movies. All hostages have been rescued and the mission is completely successful. One robber is still alive and raises his gun to shoot Irek, but Baldy takes him down. Irek is about to thank him, but he points his gun at Irek and says he'll take Irek's life here. Baldy admits he's a spy, originally planted just to monitor the group's actions, but now his client has ordered him to kill Irek. Irek then asks Baldy if he's thought of a name for the organization, and he comes up with the name Incognito, which Irek still uses to this day. Just as Baldy is about to fire, Irek tells him to wait a bit, then takes out a notice that he's been hired. The lights then turn on, and the three red, blonde, and black-haired guys walk out clapping to congratulate him. It turns out the client who hired Baldy to assassinate Irek is Irek himself, and this is a test they prepared for him, and he has excellently passed. Baldy, learning he was set up, angrily fires wildly. And that's how Irek's organization was born. The boatman sees they're very different now from back then, and wonders why variation wasn't in the story from start to finish. And he says he's appeared from the beginning of the story. It turns out that Baldy is variation. Now he has grown hair and is less stubborn than before. The boatman doesn't understand what's happening and keeps getting spun around by variation. Back to Khan's group, they've now volunteered to go to the battlefield and have to run for their lives to avoid the enemy's rain of bombs and bullets. Sanglain didn't expect they would mobilize troops so quickly. Khan can't accept dying on the battlefield when they've only just begun. Mariandale has met her second brother again and is extremely shocked. They then manage to escape into a forest. Khan says they must quickly talk to that minister that the princess hitting him was because the rebel organization trapped her with a nose hair and triggered the princess's hatred of eye irritation. Although it was Sanglain who shouted the battle cry and led everyone to the battlefield, he didn't expect there would be so many, not only court troops but also mercenaries. Mary Andale, after meeting her second brother, has now lost all will to fight, so the princess decides to step forward herself to talk to them. But when arriving, the princess, like Mary Andale, meets her second brother, who is serving the warring side, and also loses all will to fight, making the group have to flee again to think of another way. Because currently the enemy forces are too numerous, they can't do anything. Sanglain proposes a plan to eliminate their leader. But things aren't as simple as they thought. They quickly get surrounded by enemy troops from all directions. But the script is the same again. Sanglain meets his old boss and loses all will to fight. So the group has to retreat to the forest again. All three of them can't believe their relatives and acquaintances have joined the rebel side. Khan understands they're very sad, but if they keep moping like this, the whole group will die here. Khan starts shouting loudly, while they keep saying farewell words like writing a will, so Khan has to shut them up. The rebel organization has also sent people to both empires, claiming they've sent people to help to spread misinformation. In the organization, the high-ranking officials have also received news that Flora has gotten involved in this, and have sent people to dispatch robots to deal with Khan's group. Khan's group at this point has temporarily set aside the battlefield and gone to eat a hearty meal to restore morale, because you can't fight on an empty stomach. They've also looked at reality, that currently the princess's group is too few. If they keep rushing into battle with those people, they'll only die, regardless of what others say. Khan will have to stop this war at all costs by any means. Suddenly, a little girl walks by and overhears them talking. She gives Khan a flower and asks him to please stop this war. When they leave the restaurant, the strap on Khan's clog suddenly breaks, making him fall flat on his face. At the same time, a black cat walks by. Khan feels this must be an omen of bad luck. But in this world, it's actually good luck. Khan finds this confusing, but whatever. His hand then gets something on it, but he thinks this is also good luck. Then the princess's group says this is bad luck and stays away from him. Khan doesn't really understand. He wipes his hand on the ground, and they say he just doubled his bad luck and chase him away. The origin of these superstitions comes from an event 800 years ago of a defeated warrior. Sanglain keeps telling the story while Khan doesn't bother listening and falls asleep. Khan thinks this is just superstition when suddenly a flower pot from a girl upstairs falls right in front of him. Khan is now scared pale and quickly asks Sanglain how to break the curse. Sanglain says Khan wants to break the curse, he must wash his hands with holy water. Mary Andale has brought Khan a ladle of water for him to wash his hands. But this water must be poured by a virgin to be effective, and Mary Andale is just a man with a woman's soul. So after that, a huge drill bit suddenly falls from the sky right in front of Khan. Then a whole poisonous spider crawls behind him and bites his neck. It seems his bad luck not only hasn't decreased but has increased. At this rate, Khan will die before reaching the battlefield. So he asks Sanglain again about how to break the curse. But before he can finish, Khan faints from the spider's poison. On Irek's side, he is called the general supervisor of the rebel organization, reporting that the princess is trying to stop the war and asking for permission to act. But the general supervisor demands Irek's organization sit tight and wait for the next instruction, making him unable to understand and completely lose faith in the rebel organization. Right at this moment, Variation returns with serious injuries. Earlier he was surrounded by Ulbrians. Although he managed to defeat them all, he was seriously wounded. Variation has realized the organization wants to replace Irek's group with those Ulbrian. He warns Irek the organization's real purpose isn't world domination but destruction, then falls to the ground. Right then, the red-haired one returns and uses a newly learned resurrection technique to save Variation. The black-haired one asks where the red-haired one has been, and he lies, saying at a bar. But since the war broke out, those places have been closed. Only the blonde knows that actually the red-haired one has been working part-time to earn money to send child support to his ex-wife, because back in school he was best friends with the red-haired one's ex-wife, so she told him. But the school the red-haired one's ex-wife attended is an all-girls school. How could the blonde study there? So he shyly says actually he's also a girl, shocking the whole group. But actually they've known for a long time, but since the blonde wanted to hide it, they didn't expose her. Only Irek is extremely panicked, learning he's been unintentionally seeing another girl on the side. Khan has then been cured of poison by Flora and has woken up. but his bad luck is still there, so he still has to do the curse-breaking ritual. Khan will have to perform the ritual that the princess's group has prepared. He's dropped into a jar of holy water poured by the princess herself. Sanglane below lights a fire to heat the water inside. Khan's task is to push the jar over himself and put out the fire, but almost out of time, and he still can't do it, so Flora shoots the jar, making it shatter and put out the fire. Khan doesn't know anything and thinks he did it himself, and is fired up with fighting spirit again. Khan asks Flora why she doesn't control the Sky City to fight, and she says it's controlled by a system far beyond their understanding, so she can't. Khan then takes out his phone and earphones to give to Flora, asking her to combine them with his Alma weapon. On the battlefield, the king's side and the minister's side have now gathered a large army along with modern machines. Khan's group is racing against time to stop this war at all costs, but Khan seems to have gotten a bit exhausted from running continuously. All this time he only plays games, so his stamina is quite poor. Suddenly, a group of Ulbrian robots approaches Khan's group. Then, the leader of these robots steps forward to talk to them. But he keeps laughing kukuku while talking, making Khan very annoyed. He questions him about this, but he continues laughing kukuku. This guy then orders those robots to charge at Khan's group. But he keeps rambling about the origin of these robots, so Khan has to draw his sword and tell them to hurry up and start. Sanglane takes a large sword and charges forward to clear the way, single-handedly taking on 4 to 5 robots at once, while the princess and Mariandale stand behind, one firing bullets, one casting spells, blowing away those robots. Khan, witnessing this terrifying scene, thinks probably he doesn't need to do anything. But Khan soon realizes something is wrong when those robots have no intention of fighting them. Their real plan is just to stall the princess's group as long as possible to prevent them from reaching the battlefield, and war will truly break out. The princess wonders what benefit the rebel organization gets from war breaking out. The leader smugly tells their organization's plan. Now both sides have deployed all their forces for this war, so whoever wins won't be able to become world ruler. And then the organization will jump in at the end. Khan thinks they shouldn't waste time here, so tells Sanglane to leave. But they've sent vehicles with more robots to block the way. Khan's group is overwhelmed and has to retreat to find a hiding spot. Just when they're desperate, suddenly a light shines down from the sky. It's Irek's group. Irek and his 4 close associates have understood and separated from the rebel organization to act independently, and they've come here to help Khan's group. Irek's whole group charges up to attack the robots. Mariandale winks at Irek, making him feel buffed with 100% more strength, charging forward to unleash a devastating blow, destroying those robots. Khan's and Irek's groups then meet each other, but Khan keeps guessing what Irek is about to say, making him a bit upset. The two groups then temporarily cease fire and cooperate to stop this war. Everyone then travels in Irek's tank. Irek asks Khan how they can stop the war, and he says he's prepared a plan. Everything they've done until now is to prevent war from happening, so they must succeed. On the battlefield, soldiers from both sides are about to charge at each other for battle, but that old king is still sleeping soundly. Suddenly, a voice sounds. Khan is standing on the mountain preaching about peace to the soldiers below. Khan warns if they don't listen, they'll be punished mercilessly. Khan introduces the soldiers below that he and those standing up here are people from the ancient tribe chosen to be Hyperions, coming here to stop this war. But these people don't seem to trust them much, so they aim tank cannons straight at Khan's group. So the princess demonstrates for them by casting a spell to destroy several tanks below. That minister still seems stubborn and won't believe. He demands Khan if he's really an ancient person, then show him magic. Khan was waiting for that, asking Flora to bring the Sky City to block above the soldiers. The soldiers, seeing this, give up all intention to fight, because fighting against the ancient tribe is opposing the gods. All the soldiers then drop their swords and scatter, running away. Even that minister's logistics team is no exception. The king's side plans to take this opportunity to attack, but soldiers from his side have also all run away. Khan's plan has initially succeeded. Now they need to take advantage of this panic to kidnap the king and that minister, make them sit down and sign a peace treaty. The rebel organization at this point has also heard news the external war has failed, and Irek has betrayed. But they're not fazed, because now they're releasing the final boss, which they've been carefully storing all this time. The ground suddenly shakes. A red eye appears in the rock. A monster rises, but that's only the head. That monster is riding on a giant beast ready to destroy everything in its path. Khan's group is completely helpless because now they're like mosquitoes compared to this giant monster. That giant monster just breathing is enough to blow away everything on the ground. One sneeze is like a tsunami hitting the shore. This is the final boss of the rebel organization, Forzo. Khan calls Flora asking her to think of a way to help, but in this situation she's also helpless. The heads of the rebel organization stand from afar and command this giant monster. Erek can't stand waiting to die, so plans to charge up and fight to the death with that monster. Khan stops them because now they're like mosquitoes compared to this giant monster. But Erek says now they're no longer ordinary people but Hyperions. Khan helplessly stops trying to stop them. He just tells them if they want to fight that monster they need to aim at its feet. So the 5 Super Ranger brothers of Erek's house all charge up together. The princess's group also follows behind. They're like stars, except everyone shouts their skill names loudly, even though this isn't a game, so doing that is pointless. The 8 of them attack Forzo's feet, but it doesn't flinch at all. Not only that, that monster has started noticing their group, and spits saliva down like a storm, destroying everything wherever it goes. Khan can't take it anymore, so shouts loudly into his speaker, insulting that monster. Khan shouts right in Forzo's face, calling it just a fat blob of a monster, ruining other people's business. Khan scolds, asking doesn't it have any self-confidence that it only knows how to follow others' orders? Does it do whatever anyone says? Does it do whatever anyone tells it to do? Khan keeps saying harsh words to this giant monster's face, making it unable to say anything but scrunch up its face. He's like a mother teaching her child at this point. Forzo then thanks and apologizes to Khan. But Khan says what's the use of just apologizing, so it earnestly asks him what it needs to do to atone. Khan has tamed it, and then even rides on its head. Flora says the reason she chose Khan to come here and save the world is because his magic adaptation ability is very high. But he's never once used that power. Since coming to this world until now, Khan has resolved all battles using only his words and cleverness. Khan has saved this world from the brink of destruction just as Flora expected. Khan then carries the king and minister's tanks to where the group is, and the peace treaty is signed by both sides. Meanwhile, the heads of the rebel organization are fleeing when blocked by Erek's group. Erek has found enough evidence proving he's the one behind everything. The close associates are defeated, and the general supervisor is captured alive by the group. The king then holds a celebration that all storms have passed, and the coronation ceremony is also soon held. That general supervisor has to wear shackles and be imprisoned for life. The Ulbrian robots are repurposed for farming, and Forzo, following Khan's guidance, goes to live on a remote island. But in the end, after the war has ended, Khan and Erek continue to face each other. Erek swears to end everything here. They create an earth-shattering battle. Khan gets his sword knocked out of his hand by Erek. Just as he's about to finish Khan off to avenge the 2 precious jewels Khan took, Mariandale steps in to stop him. Mariandale offers that she can give her 2 precious jewels to Erek. His subordinates, learning their boss has lost his little brother down there, are extremely shocked. Mariandale has decided to stop standing on the boundary between 2 genders, so she'll give her 2 precious jewels to him. Erek doesn't think this will work because as he knows once lost it can't be healed. But Flora says she can do it. No one understands why the ancient people would research this. Flora asks if the 2 of them are ready, then casts a spell to transfer the 2 precious jewels from Mariandale's place into Erek's pants. Mariandale now feels extremely comfortable, and Erek feels very happy because now he can marry his fiancée. Khan thinks now that Erek has gotten his little brother back, there's no reason to fight anymore. Erek tells him he should cherish his life instead. Khan also tells Erek that he's about to no longer be a virgin because now he's about to do that with Flora. Khan then runs over to embrace Flora, but she tells him to let go for now, because they can't do that here. She promises to come to his room after he returns to that world. Khan believes Flora and temporarily lets go of her. But when he just escapes from Khan, she thinks about how she might break her promise. Khan then turns around to say goodbye to everyone and disappears back to his world. The princess and Mariandale ask Flora to call Khan back because they haven't said goodbye yet. Khan gets called back again, and the princess comes and punches him once. Khan doesn't understand what the princess is doing, but when he sees her eyes are filled with tears he understands. He promises the princess that definitely in 10 years when she grows up they'll meet again, and gets slapped by her again. Khan tells the princess to become a good princess, asks everyone to take good care of the princess, asks Erek to protect this world in his place, and this time he can leave without any regrets. When Khan opens his eyes, he finds himself lying on the floor in his room. Khan thinks what just happened was a dream, But when he sees Flora's apology message on the screen, along with the burning pain from the slap the princess gave, he understands what just happened wasn't a dream. Khan finally turns off the computer and goes outside to touch grass. So Khan's long journey in a strange world has officially ended. Even though he faced many difficulties in the end, he still successfully saved that world.